should go share.
All right, we're live.
I love that intro.
Oh, thank you. That's Tape Damage from my locals
back.
community. You can join that under my name. This is some new software that we're trying out. I like a lot of what they're doing here. It's still really new. It's still in the beta, but there's a ton of potential. So hopefully everything works perfectly. You know, anytime you have a beta, you never know. But I know that you guys are all super popular. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me do it with the software, and we're going to stress test this. And I'm sure that developers will appreciate that because
I mean, it works.
It really
So
does.
far, right?
Oh,
So far.
The confidence is brewing high with everyone. Waiting for David to come on. I think Joe is getting some coffee. It looks like Joe lit up the chat already. Oh, yes.
I won.
Fantastic.
So wait, what does the loser have to do? Do you have to like run around? You know, like what is it?
No,
has to
the
tolerate
the winner. Well, now here's you have to tolerate me. No, so the winner gets like, so we get 5% of our sales or whatever through the discount code, and then the winner gets like an extra 5%. You get a full 10% basically. But what I offered was, regardless of winning or losing, I feel like we should split that between me and Eric. So, we each get 7.5%. Everyone literally wins.
Listen,
everyone literally wins.
We're in America. We're about the spoil system. We're about punishing the loser. We're about competitiveness.
No, because I still get bragging rights, but we each get 7.5%. And then actually the way that things work out, I think the team man ends up keeping more money also. So it's a win-win-win on all sides. So I think that Eric should just take the deal. Because he has no alternative.
Oh my!
He has no alternative.
Okay, I got something here from the chat. Just to lay some things out ahead of time. Please ask Good Logic about his Ukraine. Stop whining. Blah 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 blah. Honestly, I don't plan to go into Ukraine on this episode. If anybody's disappointed, I'm sorry. We have very important subjects that we have to cover. Emily was just featured in the Los Angeles Times.
I mean, that's important. Emily is not an international war correspondent and has made it very clear on her channel what she does and does not comment on, and has said to Eric, look, this is what I've said on my channel. I don't know. I am not a geopolitical person. I do not know enough to give any kind of helpful comment other than my feelings. I try not to comment from my feelings. I try to comment from facts. And so I shared news resources that I like and trust, and shared donation links that I know are legitimate, helpful resources. And that is it. And when people come onto my channel, they're not law nerds. But when people come onto my channel and are like, talk about this, I really get very much like, no, I will not be told what to do. And I'm
I definitely, ADHD, so. I definitely agree. I mean, I have a lot of interest in this topic. I mean, I'm doom scrolling probably just as much as anybody else is, or maybe even more, who knows, but I am not a foreign policy expert, and I am a lawyer. I'm licensed in the United States, and occasionally I will talk a little bit about some legal implications, for other countries. I talked a little bit about the Australian Open and Djokovic, a little bit about the trucker convoy, right? In Canada. But that was literally like I had a Canadian lawyer on with me to talk about it. I try very much not to comment on laws outside of the United States, and I try very much not to talk about subjects that are outside of law. So I'm with you on that, Emily.
About whether or not David Dobrik gets sued, and Kanye West's latest music video. But I stick to pop culture on my channel because that's my choice. So I mean, if you guys are disappointed, it's just it's not my thing. And Alita, I'm totally with you. I know what I talk about, and my content's really clear. I talk about mostly lawsuits that have been filed. Occasionally, I will talk about could this be a lawsuit or not when it comes to pop culture. But that's really what I like talking about best, because I don't, frankly, have the time to research to know enough to give meaningful comment. There are experts that do that. I've been very busy reading all of the Maxwell filings because Juror 50 has stepped in a giant pile of shit and it is going to be a mess. So it's been busy. And H3 filed a 800-page anti-slap motion. Like,
whoa.
Yes.
That's
all
a
right.
lot. There's a lot to keep you busy.
We've got David here, and I did want to.
David's just going to make us all jealous with his background. Sorry, Legal Mindset. It looks like you're
and his
still
hair.
prison, but
I'm sorry.
gorgeous.
The high tension. I don't know what the connection is like, but it's not as good as it is back home. How you guys doing?
All right, David. Now that you're here, though, I did have something queued up just for you. We've been talking to you, Mark, myself, and I think even Barnes, about how you are slowly becoming Abby Hoffman. And I want to get everybody else's opinion on this subject.
Who's Abby Hoffman?
So
I don't know.
let's see
who's
here.
Abby
Abby
Hoffman?
Hoffman is a legendary figure of the late 60s.
Not
Anybody
that
remember the
legendary.
1968 Democratic Convention?
Are you talking about specifically his hair, though?
Well, I'm just talking about him as all around hair, height, everything. Take a look. Let's see.
To do their thing. If some people storm the amphitheater, they storm the amphitheater. Some people want to swim naked in the lake, they swim naked in the lake. Other people
That does
wanna
sound like
smoke
Viva.
dope. Other people want to go and tell the cops what we're doing. That's good. The cops want to come down and beat our heads. That's it. I mean, it's all conceived as a total theater. With every
I think I have about 30 pounds on Abby Hoffman. I think he looks like a 130, and I easily have 30 pounds on him.
But you are slowly merging into Abby Hoffman, my friend.
I wonder if you're maybe reincarnated.
It could be.
Well, what did
Chicago
Abby
7,
Hoffman know for
guys.
something?
Chicago 7.
No, just got over my computer. What was he? Say it again.
Chicago 7.
Yeah. Okay.
And the 68 National Convention, Democratic National Convention. He wrote Burn This Book. He's a major underground figure in the 60s and 70s. So kind of a merry prankster
software
type.
that you're using now, Eric, for the live stream?
This is what we call, it's Wave.video. And I got into the beta program a few weeks back. And I really like a lot of what it does. There's a ton of flexibility in it. It's actually, if you take like OBS and cram it into StreamYard, it has a lot of power to it. Like even just having the double lines possibility under our names, and little things like I can do this.
Whoa!
I like
that's
so
cool. Though.
That's
This
so
is
beautiful.
cool.
Hold on, there we go.
This is pretty cool.
or I could do this.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait.
Just we can have some fun here and always change
I don't like
out.
it. I don't like it. Your head's too big, Eric. Your head's too big.
Yeah,
look
no
at this.
kidding. But you know what?
Like-
we can always take care of that, Andrew. There.
There we go.
And
There we
we'll
go. I
just
like
put-
it.
yeah,
I like it.
I know nobody wants to look at my face.
It's like
All
there's
part
so
of my
much
master
room for
plan.
activities.
Yes, there are, and then we can go like this.
Shenanigans, one
And,
might say.
let me
Shenanigans.
see. Do I pull that over? There we go, and I can
Ooh.
feature whomever. I want to.
Emily's loving it.
So anyway, this is all just right here in the software. It's a lot of flexibility, and I don't even know again how to do all of it, but it is pretty cool.
Interesting.
Let me see.
interesting.
Russell Fulton has an axe and his brilliant axe.
Philosophical question. If I have an axe and it's a brilliant axe and I've had it for 40 years and it's only gotten 2 new heads and 4 handles,
Oh, this
is
is
it the same?
this is like
That's
the old
what's
ship.
not the Sisyphus
the-
ship. Yeah, the ship
it-
one. What was it?
Oh, God, I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it. But where plank by plank, you're replacing it over time. You're
Yeah.
restoring it. Is it technically the same ship?
Okay.
Well, I think so
It is
because
the-
if you think about the human body, you are the cells that make up your body right now are not the same cells that made up your body when you were born. So all of them
Hashtag
have
not
been
medical
replaced at
advice.
some point. Okay.
Okay.
But
So,
right,
so would that
like
apply to a
technically
rock
all of
band?
the cells right now are new cells that didn't exist when you were born. So are you the same person? Are you made up of just your cells? But obviously we're talking about conscious beings, sentient beings, and we're not just talking about an axe or a ship, which doesn't have consciousness. But aside from that, I would say, yeah, it probably is the same axe.
Eric brought up the good point of like, is Menudo still Menudo when they keep changing out the members? Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Still the same band. They change out the pieces. Still the same band.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as you don't do them all at once. Is that the trick?
Let's
Is
not
it, as
put
long
them
as
all-
there's-
Hold on. That's what the roadies are for, Eric.
Okay.
To change out the members?
What are the
Doing it all at
groupies for
once.
then, Andrew?
There you go. The groupies are for Joe.
What?
Yeah,
Hey,
Joe's
Lawgic,
the one
what's
who-
up?
Joe's
Hey,
the one who gets all the
Viva, how you
groupies.
been? I never got to. I don't think I've seen you live since you hit 500,000. So I wanted to express my congratulations to
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Congratulations,
Definitely.
Viva.
And you are
Yeah.
an inspiration to all of us. And I mean
Well,
that
yeah, he got
sincerely.
verified on Twitter. He's a blue check mark and still seems to be normal.
You're really a blue check. Oh,
Yeah, he is.
Jesus.
He is.
Yeah.
It
I got the-
slowly
I got the-
corrupts your soul.
No. It's actually made me angrier and angrier at the other blue check marks. It's nuts. If ever I lose my soul, I want people to call me out on it. It needs to be done. But thus far, my soul is just getting blacker and blacker with every passing day.
So is there a process? What is the process for getting blue check marked?
You
I
have
don't
to
know.
be somebody, Joe.
I applied like multiple times. I
applied.
applied when I ran for office. I applied because I didn't want like fake accounts. Then when there was a legit Wikipedia page, I applied, and then just like that, I think it has to do with how much your name is popping up in Google and on social media.
It also
So
has to do
back in the day when
because you had crossed over a follower milestone as well.
Also, he was in
Yeah.
Canada
Yeah, I
and
got-
being featured
but-
all over the place when he was walking around with the truckers exactly at that time. So you were very
Yeah,
high up
when-
in the news when they approved it.
yeah. I think so. I mean, it's fun, but it's only useful so that you can dilute the aggregate stupidity of the blue check marks, and also it makes it harder for people to like say Viva Frei is suggesting Bitcoin, which I'm not, by the way.
No, so no, I have
Yes.
seen people with as low as like 10K followers be blue check marked.
They are
So that's
generally
because-
the media
Yeah.
figures whose companies get them blue checked when they get hired. Reporters and
I
such.
had to help somebody with a suit where they had a company that promised them verification and they reneged on it recently, which is very interesting. There's a
Whoa.
lot of people out there promising you that check mark right now, coming saying, hey, for 10, 15, 20K, we'll get you that check mark. And they're just rugging them. It's very
It's
interesting.
worth 10, 15, 20K. People
Just
pay
some
that
people.
for
Some people.
a stupid
Yes.
blue check mark.
Well,
Yes,
people
Joe,
have
they
PR
do.
firms that promise
Yeah.
that they'll get them enough media exposure, but they don't make it clear when they say, "Oh, we'll get you media exposure that could get you a blue check mark." They promise we
Yes.
can get you verified. I get these things popping up under my tweets all the time. It's so-
Guaranteed.
I'm gonna run and get my power plug, but I think once upon a time people do have like grandfathered blue check marks because when did they changed the policy like a year and a half ago? Where before then it was much easier to get a blue check mark. It didn't have to do with
It's always had to do with popularity, David. Always had to do with that. It's always
Yes.
been a popularity contest. What I love about it is they say that, oh no, it's about verification and we want to make sure that nobody is spoofing an identity, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
But then
blue
Milo
check-
Yiannopoulos, why do they keep unchecking people like Milo Yiannopoulos? Why did they say, oh, you're no longer verified? It's like, well, their mouthiness has nothing to do whether it's really them or not. So you're putting a lie to your own
How else do you
statement.
punish the children that aren't behaving other than take away their toys?
You can always
that's
freeze
just-
their account or kick them off.
That's what America is doing with the world. If you don't vote with us in the UN or you buy weapons from Russia, we're gonna sanction you. They were sanctioning. Who are we to sanction India? I don't understand this. I was reading this last night, and I was.
All right,
Where'd you,
furious.
Joe, where'd you read that?
Joe,
Russia
did you
Times?
Did you watch Kanye West's new music video?
Yeah,
I
let's
haven't
go.
seen that.
Let's go with that. That's our subject. By the way,
That's
Joe,
good.
you're late and didn't get the
Emily, I
memo.
appreciate you.
I think. Oh,
We're not
my
going to
last
do
thing-
Ukraine.
We're not doing Ukraine. Okay, I'm sorry.
We're not
I didn't
doing
get-
Ukraine.
I didn't get. I
Unless
didn't
we're
get
talking
that
about
memo.
Hermes and the luxury houses pulling out of Russia and the run on luxury handbags and the prices in the secondhand resale market going absolutely nuts. At the same time that Chanel just bumped their prices by like 4 or 5%. We could talk about that.
Well,
Can we
Oh,
can
yeah.
we talk
Well,
about the
I wanna
OnlyFans girls struggling in Miami? And is that a thing?
Can we talk
really?
about EricHunley discovering a brand new service type of thing that no one's ever heard of called Wave.video live, where I was like, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing here.
We already did that, Joe. You were
It's
late.
done, Boomer.
Oh my God.
Good
Booming,
God.
Joe.
Wave
I'm
has been
curious-
around doing
I'm curious-
splits
You know, he's
forever.
right. He's not a Gen Xer. He is a boomer. We'll just go ahead and just go all the way, old man.
Two things I'm curious about. Incidental to Russia. The seizing of that oligarch $600 million yacht in Germany, or not in Germany, but somewhere else in Europe. I don't understand how they're seizing the property of oligarchs, even if they are oligarchs in the absence of some court order.
Because they're
And,
connected to a
Canada
terrorist
was-
organization. So, I mean, they've always been able to do that. Interpol's always been able to do that, David.
But what's the allegation that now being an oligarch of Russia makes them guilty of war crimes?
They want to accuse every general of being guilty of war crimes. This whole thing is insanity, but we're not talking about this.
Did you
Thank
see
you.
that Angelina
right.
Jolie and Brad Pitt are in a knockdown, drag-out lawsuit over her selling her
The winery.
interest of the winery?
To
Yes.
Russians.
Well, stolen.
That was the lawsuit predated Ukraine.
What is the revenge?
all right.
What's
Stolen
the revenge
is
music?
out of another country.
Hold on. Our own Emily was featured in this article, so I will let
Yes.
her explain and tell us the story. What's going on, Emily?
Whoa. What the hell happened?
This is
What just
weird,
happened?
bro. This is weird.
This
Kanye
is
West
very
released a
weird.
music video hours after he and Kim Kardashian were declared legally divorced. His attorney, by the way, Christopher Melcher, who's here on YouTube regularly, was representing Kanye West and did a pretty good job of trying to make not reasonable objections seem reasonable. I think at the client's request, that's my speculation. Kanye was objecting heavily to bifurcating the divorce. The court allowed the divorce to be bifurcated. Kim Kardashian is now single. Kanye West releases a music video with claymation figures wherein he puts his ex-wife's boyfriend in a coffin, cuts off his head, plants flowers around him. The very end of the music video is him cutting down the flowers and putting them in a truck, and then he's driving the truck. That is the truck he took to her house on Valentine's Day, full of flowers, and posted pictures of it on social media. He's also threatened to physically assault Pete Davidson across social media. He's encouraged followers to harass Pete Davidson. He posted a guy in a chokehold and he's like, Kim told me to stop threatening Pete Davidson, but I'm here to tell you I will kick his ass and I'm not going to stop. And that was after Kanye had released text messages between him and Kim, where Kim was saying, you're making this situation really scary. Kim filed in court documents that she was feeling very emotionally distraught over it and was afraid not only of Kanye West, but of what his audience might do and whether they would see this as some kind of incitement to harm Davidson, who she's dating. So the questions that have come up are, is it artistic? Is it free speech? Is it threatening speech that's not protected? Do the platforms have an obligation to take it down because it is threatening and depicting the harm to someone else? But does the fact that it's in claymation matter? But does the fact that there's other threats existing on social media change the context of it? So that is where we're at.
I think the context matters. I think the context definitely matters.
Is part of the context the fact that Pete Davidson has said publicly in a Super Bowl ad that his face looks very hittable? Does that change context at all?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, Joe.
Pete Davidson said his own face is hittable.
Yeah, he actually gets tackled. Like it's a thing where this guy comes tackling one guy after another, and he gets tackled. And it's like, and yeah, that's a Super Bowl ad. Pull it up, Super Bowl ad. Pete Davidson. You'll
That's
see.
just self-deprecation, though. That's
right.
neither
I
here
know.
nor there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cool. For everybody with a punchable face, I'd be a rich man, Joe.
What, from them punching you?
Yes, exactly.
No.
So yeah, no, I think the context definitely matters. I think that the fact that this is an artist is makes things a little bit more complicated than if this is just your average person that's like a 9 to 5 person who doesn't work in the arts. You know what I mean? But as we know, free speech rights, First Amendment rights are very, very strong. They're some of the strongest that you can go to bat for in any kind of a case. If you have a legitimate 1A argument, it's going to be pretty strong. However, there are
Public
limits, and
figures,
those
too.
limits.
They're both both public figures
Yeah.
too. Does
Yeah.
that not factor in?
Well,
It's not like
we're-
he's chasing
really a-
somebody.
if we're talking
unknown.
about if we're talking about
Conversation.
defamation, then the fact that they're public figures, I think, is much more relevant than just like a basic free speech, situation. So, but I think that if where we're starting to get into threats of violence, that context really, really matters. The fact that he actually has threatened violence before, and the fact that there is a history there that adds some texture to this being more than just art. I think that matters.
David, you're up.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, typically, if someone's going to do assault, they're not going to make a claymation video beforehand to set it out. But what I think the issue is whether or not it incites other people to actually carry out violence as well. But I haven't seen any of it. But by the sounds of it, if we're comparing this to any Eminem song where he's talking about doing things to his mother and his girlfriend, I think it will certainly pass the artistic muster test. Even though I think it's bad form, because even if Kanye is not going to do something himself, this is how you get tribal warfare among artists to actually go after other artists, and it actually escalates to the point of real life and not claymation music videos.
Didn't Kanye do this with Taylor Swift too, like having her in a bed or something?
Call her a bitch. I think there's a difference between calling somebody a bitch and beheading someone, burying them. And then it's not just that, it's that at the end, for me, it's at the end of the music video, he buries Pete Davidson, plants roses around him, cuts down the roses, puts them in a truck, and has posted on social media that image in front of Kim Kardashian's house over Valentine's Day. So there are stuff where he's crossing between the video and real world. He's talking about their court case. So there are things in the lyrics of the video that are real life and not exaggerated hyperbole. And I think it changes the assessment on the threats. I don't think it'll be criminal threats in California. I don't think it's immediate enough. I think it probably rises to the level of a restraining order if they wanted to get them. But I wonder if the platforms have to take this as threatening and not allow this music video on the platforms, because all of the platforms, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, have policies about threats of violence, inciting violence, and have been enforcing those in ways that are
selectively.
Exactly. When they want to and how they want to enforce them. And I think that you're exactly right. I think, Emily, if they wanted to get a restraining order, I don't see, especially in California, they're going to get one, I would imagine. But I don't see the eminence to it. And I think that's the keystone here. And for me, it's troubling to see us pushing back against that and moving more towards the snowflake standard, much like what you covered, Joe, where we're going after people for comments that are relatively minor. Now, I know I haven't seen the video, right? And like you said, Emily, I do think there's a point at which it crosses a line. But, I've always
is what did it for me. The video standing alone with no other context, not in the middle of a divorce, not other threats of violence, not other behavior, not other real world behavior. The video stands alone and you're like, that's artistic expression. Say what you want to say. It's hyperbole. With the context around it, I think it changes it, which is why we're seeing so much backlash over it on social media.
Have there been any actual direct threats? Like you mentioned, text messages, very specific.
Beat him up. There have been, but they haven't been specific in time. They've been direct threats, but they haven't risen to the level, I don't think, of criminal threats where they're imminent. They're
imminent action.
Yeah, we haven't seen that. I don't know if that's gone on behind the scenes. We don't know. We only know what's in the public forum.
All right, can we break this down as far as the two avenues where he could be attacked by Kardashian and Davidson in theory would be under incitement or harassment, right? I mean, let's break it down. Those are two different things. Incitement is I'm getting other people to do things. Harassment is you're saying this to try and intimidate me that you're going to do it. There's no such thing. That's the problem with a threat, right? I mean, the threat is harassment. That's what it boils down.
You're thinking civil versus criminal.
So break it down for me. What? So you're saying it's illegal to threaten someone. So what exactly is the crime of threatening someone? Let's break it down.
Let me just pull up Penal Code 422. In California, 422 is threats, but it has to be imminent and specific, and that's the problem.
Well, I would take a step back and say I haven't seen the video. Would be surprised if it's criminal harassment or criminal threats.
We're critiquing it. Can we watch it?
You'll get a strike.
Then I'll just get
you'll get a strike for it. Don't play with it right now.
On mute.
What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
if
Now,
we,
but
if,
even still, it's got the visuals. I wouldn't
You
play
can
it.
at
I'll watch
least
it
share
afterwards.
an
No, but
image,
the
like a
visuals
still.
are threatening. And
how is it not fair use if we're breaking down whether it's threatening? To
Because
me,
the
this
It
is
doesn't
fair
matter.
use.
the
What?
visuals?
Oh, they don't care. They don't care
it's-
anymore, man.
The
Well, I
visuals
would just say, like,
it's
setting
very
aside
threatening.
I'd be curious as to what the restraining order could possibly look like, because if it's to avoid proximity, he can still create his art. I'd just say this would be easy to qualify as targeted harassment on a platform because it's individual specific, and so no laws, no nothing. YouTube has the ambiguity in their terms of service to take it down.
Yeah.
But I'll watch it with an open
Only
mind.
put
But
it on
given Eminem
Instagram.
stuff, Snoop Dogg. Say it again?
He didn't put it on YouTube. He only put it on Instagram. Everything's played out over Instagram, which is also interesting to me. And I wonder if that's to get around YouTube's policies that he took it to
Oh,
Instagram.
they got the same ones. They have to have the same ones on Instagram.
They do.
Targeted harassment.
They do,
Yeah,
and they apply them the same too. You know, with capriciousness.
But what would a restraining order look like? What would it tell? Don't come within a certain proximity, or don't create
Harassment.
content.
Harassment, threats, contact through third parties or through third party platforms. I think they could construct a pretty good restraining order. I don't know what it would do, because then how do you enforce it? I mean, LA is not enforcing much at the moment, so I don't know if even if he violated it, how much it would help. But I think it's going to play. I think the real practical effect of it, even though I think it shows a pattern of emotional abuse in a relationship that is hard to watch play out on social media, I think it's going to play against him really badly in their custody hearings that are coming
Yeah.
up.
I
Is there
can't
any- and I'm not
imagine
saying
it playing well for him.
Somebody brought up a good point, because you think of Kathy Griffin and what she did with the head thing.
Or against
But-
the or Lindsey Graham and Putin. I'm not going to go there, but you know, I don't know if you saw that one.
Well,
I made me laugh
God.
today.
is it? I mean, Kanye is, you know, he's admitted it's known bipolar. Is he possibly in a manic or bipolar stage now that might account for the behavior?
Who knows? He's in a Kanye state. I mean, Kanye does stuff. This is not. It's not new, and that's why I brought Taylor Swift. I mean, his behavior is generally considered outside of the norm. I would say.
Erratic.
I
Or
think
erratic.
where the
Yes.
question comes up is where is the line of artistic expression, threats,
Yeah.
and has that changed given social media's reach? I mean, we've seen the Alec Baldwin defamation lawsuit where they're suing for him essentially inciting his audience on a random Instagram user, and I think we're going to see more of these things. At what point do you?
Well, that's why I brought the public figure, because Baldwin's pick is hitting down, and that's part of the problem too. It's like, are they punching down or punching across or whatever? I mean, both are celebrities, both having a spat of sorts. And by the way, I got a question: how the hell does Pete Davidson wind up with these women?
He is. I mean, talk about punching above your weight.
I mean, I'm just
doing
saying it. For some reason, that dude, he winds up dating
Tripod.
these really, really, really famous.
I don't
figures.
know.
Yes,
I don't know.
I'm trying to size it up too, Emily. I don't know.
I'm going with the tripod theory, Eric. I think we're onto something.
Yeah, could be.
theory?
He
What
may.
the
he
hell
may
is the
also
tripod
just be,
theory?
Oh,
Don't
Viva.
Google
Don't
it.
wanna
Don't
ask
Google
that.
it, Viva. Don't Google it.
You don't
Well, now I
want
gotta
to.
Google it. Great.
No.
Viva.
David,
Viva,
you can
pause,
size up. You can
pause.
size up
Just
the
think.
situation.
More
Really,
than
you
a
can.
mouthful.
Now that you
People,
say-
more than a mouthful.
Now that you mentioned size up, I think I know. I can visualize it now. Oh gosh. Okay.
You all are bad influence on me. You're a bad influence on
Look,
me.
Viva, I just want to make Viva laugh. He's been too black pilled recently. I got to give Viva some joy in his life.
Hey,
He does, he
fortunately,
does.
Joe, you're going right into Sabbat after this, right? So
Yeah.
you can cleanse yourself.
I learned my lesson with whatever that Nick
hentai?
Tatum told me to look up.
Oh, no
Hentai.
balls.
Yes.
Or
No, futai or something.
Don't
Futanari.
Google anything Ricada tells you to Google.
Oh my God.
We actually used to try to get each other at the DA's office to Google things that seemed like they were my head that weren't.
Like, never mind. I'm just stopping.
But it was so funny because Urban Dictionary was often things we needed because we were often dealing with victims and witnesses who were significantly younger than we were, saying things and we're like, I don't even know what that means. Let's go to Urban Dictionary and see if we can parse what they are saying.
Yeah, but then you look that up. Have you noticed you go to Urban Dictionary, you're like, wait, there's like 6 different definitions and they're all offensive, and I'm not sure which one is relevant. Oh, that's when I know I'm old.
Anyway.
Okay, so on that happy showstopper, I guess we're uncertain on it. I have trouble just saying that it's a threat. I think it's disgusting, disturbing, Kanye stuff, whatever. I just don't know if there is a real actionable threat.
And I think we're going to see this continue to play out on social media, and where, like, if something happened, at what point are the platforms responsible? I mean, and I don't want to lean towards the platforms being responsible. I want to lean towards if something happens to Pete Davidson, he can sue Instagram for leaving it up and let the courts decide. Like, I lean towards letting the platforms get sued by the individuals that are harmed. But I think it's going to be an area that continues to grow. And I think outside of the artistic area, more like the Alec Baldwin kind of incitement and intentional infliction of emotional distress on the woman in Wyoming, we're going to see more of that than we're going to see of music videos. But you know, it's this one isn't as cheeky as like the early 2000s disc tracks that seemed to be kind of pointed, but kind of also in good fun.
Well, I've got a question though. It's very over the top.
This is not like,
and this is going to sound crazy, ridiculous, but the fact that you just described such a drawn out, almost Norm Macdonald comedy sketch description by, you know, Kanye, the way he describes doing this and the flowers.
He kidnaps him, he beheads him, he buries him, he grows flowers.
Right. And because he's going to such a ludicrous, you know, extreme level. It's like Quentin Tarantino style, not a direct, almost scary threat. I don't know if that makes any sense, but there is almost a point of ridiculousness in his statement. So I don't know, you know,
which is
ultra
why
violence.
The context was part of what caused me concern. The video standing alone, I lean artistic expression all day long. The video in context with everything else becomes you need a restraining order, and you need to start evaluating this on another level. And you know, let's be honest, Kim and Pete
Not
Davidson
yet, by the
have
way,
the ability to have private security, to have a security threat assessment, and to do things like that most people don't have. Most people who are threatened in relationships like this don't have the resources that Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson both have. But this is the kind of stuff that happens not in a music video, in relationships, where it's like, I'm going to threaten the person you're dating now to force you to come back to me, or to think you're going to keep it. So it's just,
but
it's all very disturbing.
I don't know, but Emily, even in the context of like diss track thingies, like Machine Gun Kelly with Eminem, I mean, some of those get heated to the point where respective crews shoot up the other crews. So I mean,
Tupac,
I haven't seen this video. I'm going to go watch it right after. But this would have to be over the top to even compare to some of those rap, what do they call them, battle insult track things. Now I just sound really old. But so yeah, I mean, this would have to be over the top, and especially Claymation and it being Kanye, who is notoriously over the top when it comes to his content. I'll be flabbergasted if it's so bad that even I think it, you know, could border on criminal.
Well, look at the context too, because I think the evaluation is different. This video in a vacuum is different than this video in the context of everything that's gone down from like the Super Bowl forward on social and the other threats that were made on social. For me, I'd be interested if it's the same for you.
Yeah.
And that's a good question though. At what point is it, you know, at what point do we have enough quote context to go there? And that's where I hesitate. And then I think ironically, this is exactly what 630 is all about, isn't it? That the platforms aren't necessarily responsible for, or 230, sorry, section 230, for the idiots spouting off garbage on the line. That was literally part of why it was put there. It was like comment section. So it's, and that's my other part is like, I'm already upset about the platform spiking half of the things out there. Am I wanting to encourage them to spike something? You know, it's, I hate the slippery slope because, you know, there's a lot of people
At what point is it incitement? And
yeah, because who is that going to be used against, Emily? Who is that going to be used
Right.
against? No offense, David, but
Yeah.
it's going to be used against people who they don't like.
You mean people protesting who are having their bank
Oh,
accounts
yes.
frozen without any recourse, stuff like that?
Yes.
Stuff
Yes.
like that.
No,
Those
by the
crazy
way, speaking
Canadians.
of which, has anybody noticed older videos that had been green lighted suddenly being demonetized on YouTube?
Yes.
Or
Not only that,
specific-
Strike.
Allison got suspended for an old one.
So I think so did Robert Gouveia. That's
Yep,
what
he
he
did.
mentioned to us. That he got a strike for something he posted in July.
Did I mention that I cover pop culture on YouTube?
Which, by the way,
Amount of
Emily,
stuff very big for Maxwell and Andrew, though.
I wanted to point out that we've been talking about, all this, violence, blah, blah, blah. I haven't gotten yellow yet.
Well,
I think it's
violence
the new platform. It's the circles. The circles protected us.
Maybe
No, it's the bubbles. We're in our own bubble. That's it.
Can I ask another question? Since we buried Kanye, Viva wanted to say something. Sorry, Viva.
Oh no, I was just going to say I just noticed it was anything about January 6th. I noticed got demonetized, and I'm going to go double check that it hadn't actually been previously demonetized after manual review. It's very coincidental. January 6th in conjunction with what went up in Ottawa, and I'm noticing a pattern, but I'm not yet connecting the dots.
No, you'd be like Mark and me with America's Untold Stories. We find the dots. Yep. We don't connect them. That's up to you guys. We just find dots,
which is fair.
That's our shtick.
I was going to ask if you guys have been following the Juror 50 stuff with the Maxwell trial. Joe, I figured
March 8th. That's next week.
Did you see that he filed a notice that he intends to plead the 5th, and then the government filed notice that they're seeking immunity for Juror 50 so he can testify?
Oh, that's exciting.
Which is very interesting.
It is.
You want to give the rundown?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sure. So those of you who are unfamiliar, so Ghislaine Maxwell, I assume you know who she is. She was convicted on 5 out of 6 counts for her involvement with Jeffrey Epstein and procuring favors from underage women. And after the convictions, so one of the jurors who we identify as juror number 50, based on the number that was assigned randomly when they were in the jury pool, he did some interviews. And during the course of those interviews, so he admitted that he had been personally sexually abused, and he stated in these interviews that his personal experiences were things that he discussed during the course of jury deliberations. Specifically, that he told the other jurors that, I went through it, and there's a lot of, I think he said he went through it for an extensive period of time even, and there are things that you remember very vividly, and there are other things that are very blurry. That's consistent, that makes sense, which is what, if you were watching the trial, almost every one of the 4 victims, when they were discussing it, there were some things that they seemed to have very strong detail on, and other things where you would think they would have detail that they were very blurry on. So he really was, his role in jury deliberations, based on his personal history, ended up playing a significant factor, arguably, in obtaining conviction. Now, after he
for the memory and kind of contradicted the defense's memory expert, it seemed. And
well, anyone who saw, I mean, to be fair, the prosecution did a really thorough job in ripping her apart. I mean, utterly, she was shredded. It was like her career was ruined, melted on the stand after the DA was done with her. And even one question, which was properly objected to, which was just brilliant strategic lawyering by the DA, was
now you're saying DA? I thought this was a federal prosecutor.
Hey, USA.
Yeah, it's U.S. prosecutor.
Sorry, no, I'm dumb. I just am trying to.
Yeah, so
I mean, they will correct you on that if you call it USA a DA.
Yes, they will
flip the out.
I apologize.
Yeah,
I apologize. You are correct. So when she was questioned by the state at one point, the question was, after she had gone up there saying how it's how all these memories are unreliable. Just like, you testified on behalf of Harvey Weinstein, didn't you? And the defense screams objection, and you saw Kevin Maxwell and his sister sitting behind Ghislaine, and they just were like, Oh my God. You just need the question out there.
He testified against Ryan Kavanaugh, not Harvey Weinstein.
Well, anyway,
Internet
so
jokes.
she had been dismantled anyway. But getting to what's happening now. So juror number 50, basically after he made these statements publicly, so he was questioned. They said, hey, if you were sexually abused, how'd you get on the jury? So he's like, well, they never asked us about that. They said, yeah, it's in the voir dire questions that you had to answer. He's like, oh, I went through those questions really quick. I don't even know what I was just checking off boxes. And in fact, it seems that he actually checked off a box saying neither he nor any family member had ever been sexually abused.
That's on the record now. He checked the box no on multiple questions that hinted at the same thing and what correctly asked it.
I would think that's significant, isn't it? I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, you're supposed to pay, the burden is on you to pay attention for those. You can't just claim like, oh, sorry, it's just a bunch of text that I didn't read.
I mean, this is not an Apple, like you're buying an Apple device and have
terms of service.
It's not terms of service.
Yeah.
We all
the South Park episode.
It still doesn't part of your responsibilities as a juror is to read all of those materials and to do your due diligence, to pay enough attention to what it is that you are checking.
Well, the defense brought several motions. Included in those motions were a motion to overturn the conviction in its entirety. Another one was that to have a hearing about him. If we lose on that motion, was a hearing on them. They also wanted to be able to inquire about other jurors that they had concerns about. And Judge Nathan, I think quite appropriately, found that, okay, we're not overturning the conviction yet. We are going to have a hearing, and where he's going to, juror number 50 is going to come in here, and we're not looking at the other jurors either. There's not enough meat on the bones to say that they require a hearing, and that hearing is set for March 8th. She also correctly pointed out that, triggering this hearing is one thing, but the bar to overturn the conviction is very high. To my knowledge, as of 2016 or 2017, it had since 1984 when the standards were put in place by the Supreme Court as to when a juror misrepresentation of a voir dire would warrant an overturning, and the standards change from one circuit to another. It's not uniform across the country. There are different standards as to okay, we know a juror lied. Does that overturn a conviction? And the Supreme Court in 1984 decision left a very confusing thing there as to how you're supposed to judge it by saying, well, if it would have, I don't remember the exact language, and I'm sorry about that, but basically the way it's been interpreted in the Second Circuit is if at the time that he answered the question, they had answered honestly, that would have led to him not getting onto the jury, meaning that we would not have judged him to be capable of being fair and impartial at that time. If that is the case, in that case, you have to overturn the conviction. That had happened 0 times as of 2016, 2017 or so. It might have happened in one.
This one's going to do it, though. I think this one's going to do it because no defense attorney with his history would have left him on if they had been able to voir dire him. He would have either been kicked for cause or preempted off of that jury. There's no way.
But here's the thing, Emily. Here's the thing. You're correct. He definitely would have been kicked by peremptory. But the standard seems to be he had to be someone who a judge recognizes, I would have kicked this person off for cause and said they're incapable of being fair.
He might have been kicked for cause. In the redacted portion of the defense motion, they illuminate what seems to be another juror who had a similar experience and was kicked for cause. So I think that
that's an interesting point.
That is very
important. Great point. That's a great point.
This is going to have the judge look at, unless he comes in and says, look, I'm just attention seeking in the Daily Mail and I lied to the Daily Mail. I didn't really have this experience. Right. I didn't lie in voir dire. I lied to them because I wanted my 15 minutes of fame. If he does that, we'll see. But if he says, no, this was true. This is what I said in the jury room and I mistook it in voir dire. I don't see how we get around a new trial.
So I'll tell you this.
Giant irony of that situation is, he probably is somebody who was like, I went through this experience. This is clearly what this is about. I want to do my part to, to help the victims in this situation.
Sure.
I want to convict somebody. And the irony of it being that he is now the reason why this person is now
said that to the
probably
Daily
not
Mail.
going to be convicted.
He said it
Yep.
to the Daily Mail, Alita. He said, this is a conviction for all victims. And
Oh my
what
God.
Oh God!
And
So
over
he's an
now why
activist.
you
He's an
don't
activist. He
talk
just said
to
he's an
media.
activist.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't
good
talk to
Lord.
the media.
or he's
Right.
an attention seeker.
Okay, so what I'll tell you is this. One thing that your audience should be aware of is anything that happened to jury deliberations. Judge Allison Nathan made clear anything happened, and this is correct under the law. Whatever he did in the jury deliberations is not relevant at all in this hearing. Even if he went out there and was like role playing his own standard there and saying, this is what it was like to be them, or whatever it is. And whatever it is that he did, that is not relevant. The judge is not allowed to look at that. And she said, we're not going to be questioning about that. And she's the one who's going to be doing the questioning. That's what was clearly implied. She said, if you have questions, either the government or the defense has questions that they're recommending that I ask, I'll consider that. And she gave them time parameter to submit the questions that they want to hear asked. And she's going to be doing the questioning and then reaching a determination as to whether or not those convictions need to be overturned. It would be earth-shattering on so many levels if she agrees to overturn it. And it will be on March 8th. And God willing, I plan on being on that hearing, and I'm going to be covering it. And now I have my pass. I'm hoping that I can actually be tweeting. Because before, when I didn't have my pass, I wasn't able to get my phones in there. I'm hoping I'll be able to get in there and actually be like live tweeting and sharing with you guys
Love it.
while it's happening, and also providing. I'm not promising. I don't know yet.
I didn't realize there was that distinction
of what
You have to be pressed
between
to live.
yeah.
Joe. So there's never been a case where a conviction has been overturned because of an activist juror. What happened in Roger Stone? What happened in Rittenhouse? Rittenhouse was an acquittal.
What about Floyd?
Second
We got another one,
Circuit.
Floyd,
Second,
too.
I said in the Second Circuit, which is New York, New Jersey region, first and foremost. And second of all, I said that was as of 2016, 2017. It might have happened within the last couple of years. I'm saying in the 20 years following that Supreme Court decision, the Second Circuit had never overturned a conviction. And even some cases that you were like, wow, how can they not overturn it? They didn't. It's a very high bar. So who knows what's going to happen? I'll tell you this much. But my understanding, and Emily, you can clarify this for me if I'm correct. If this thing's overturned, I still think that her acquittal will stand for her. That would be double jeopardy. That would be double jeopardy to charge her with that again. So they would be left with 5 out of 6 charges if it gets overturned.
Well, and then the other charges that have not been tried yet, the two
the perjury.
Yep.
2 perjuries.
But no, I don't. Sorry. Go ahead.
The thing is that this we're in a different era. 2016 might as well be 1842. Okay, we are in a whole new era of social media exposure, and now we are seeing it in our faces. And when the judge is inundated with people who have seen the clip, who've seen the media, who've seen what they're saying, they've seen it on Instagram, seen it on Facebook, they've seen it on Twitter, they've seen it everywhere, they've seen it on fucking TikTok, right? They've seen it everywhere. It's
what
undeniable.
Kind of TikTok was that?
Don't get brazen with me, LegalBytes.
Well, Andrew is our resident TikToker. You do know that,
yes,
right?
I keep getting contact. I got contacted to go on a game show because of my TikTok comment, and I'm like, I'm not doing that crap. I don't want to go to Scotland. It's too.
Why wouldn't you? Scotland is
I'll
great.
Go.
No, the Scottish girls are not good looking. I'm sorry. I'm just going to throw it out there.
First off, rude.
You travel.
Second, are you not a Harry Potter fan? Like you could go to Edinburgh. You could go there's all kinds of stuff you could do. You could go golfing. Do you not golf?
No, he's about to scream nerd at you, Alita. I get to see it in his face.
I would just have fun in Scotland. I would do all of that with you.
I would get really drunk in Scotland because I like Scotch.
Emily,
I would be drunk the entire time.
I was going to tell you, in Scotland, you get Lafroy, you got Lagavulin distilleries, you got Bunabane, you got what's the one?
You're making a convincing case. All right, you're making a convincing case.
Yeah,
okay, guys,
by the way,
you got me.
Dum-dum.
You convinced me.
By the way, it overrides your first objection if you drink enough.
By the way,
practice.
Is that your refrigerator?
That's what I
to the kitchen.
You got a broom closet in the fridge.
Dude, the whole trip is a write-off.
It's 3 a.m., guys. Come on, I can drink. It's not
Dude.
fun. It's not.
The whole trip is a write-off for you because it's building your PR.
Thank
for
you,
your YouTube channel.
Joe. I needed you to come through with the money aspect. Really,
You're
I
welcome.
can always count on you for that. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to get any ethnic stereotypes and illegal stereotypes
none
at
at
all.
all.
What the hell is wrong with
None
you
at all
people?
here.
I look out for a friend, and all of a sudden it's like,
Joe,
oh
I
man,
think you
look
said
at the
you-
G
Joe,
nose on that
Joe.
dude. What is wrong with
Joe,
you?
hold on.
I'm on strike. I'm out of here.
You said I was halfway to
I'm
converting
outta
to
here.
Judaism
This is
because I
totally
wanted to go on
wrong.
birthright for free. So just saying, you started that.
I'm going to send Joe my 23andMe so he can be shook at about how Jewish I am, even though it's not true.
You're a smart attorney. I assume every one of you has a lot of Jewish blood in you. So,
And we're yellow. You're welcome, man.
David, no, there was a whole thing. David
Maybe.
shared a picture. David shared a picture on Twitter, which honestly, I was like, that was taking some shtetl. You can see his rabbi standing behind him practically there. I was like, that family is that is the most Jewish looking picture I've ever seen.
That was a great picture. I know
By
exactly
the way,
it
guys,
was back in Lviv.
it's an alliteration. Triple J, Joe the Jew from Jersey.
There you go. There you go.
Well, the funny thing is, I just said on Twitter that white nationalism and being Jewish are mutually exclusive, but
That's so good he broke up. For
Okay,
this.
a robot.
He totally broke
You
up.
just roboted
You
it.
you
that's
wrote by the
that's
end.
not
Break up.
I'm not repeating it.
Good. Don't.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find legal mindset on TikTok now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew Esquire.
Oh, yes, Andrew Esquire. The guy's a redundant. He's Andrew Esquire.
I dropped the Esquire.
Oh, never drop the Esquire.
Emily D. Baker.
Never drop the
Yeah,
Esquire.
you and Pam Keith rely on your Esquires.
Oh, no.
Listen, I will go toe to toe with Pam any night. That comment was golden. And it's
That was
everything that's wrong
was
with
good.
people on
That was
Twitter,
really
with
good.
law Twitter specifically, by the way.
No, I think your comment just now saying you would go toe to toe with Pam Keith. I think you meant that in so many different ways. So,
Andrew, there are so many Andrew Esquires on freaking TikTok.
Look for the one with the most subscribers because that's me.
Oh.
Not the shirtless ones, then.
Hold on. Scroll past us. Scroll past us. My
Exactly.
OnlyFans account. Keep going.
Okay. By the way, news that broke today: the Boston Marathon bomber, the Supreme Court reinstated the death penalty. You guys have any thoughts?
Really reinstated.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
I don't know.
6-3 vote.
Somebody super chatted me on my live stream about that too, asking about it, but I don't know enough. I don't know anything about it. I literally only know that it happened.
I'm
So
not following the case.
Ladies
was
and
the
gentlemen,
logic?
I have been summoned by the missus. We have a 4-hour drive, and some kids are ready for a drive now. So I may have to duck out.
yeah, I'm gonna have
But
to.
just before we go, by the way, look at
Yes.
this. So these high tension power lines right behind us. This is like these power lines run up to Quebec, the hydro sources, and bring all the electricity to the province down that way. Here we go. And
Wow.
what's disconcerting is at night, I don't know, I asked our locals community, they said it's not dangerous, but you could hear them buzzing, like, so, but it's beautiful up here. But now we're leaving.
Don't
Great
touch
That's
seeing
this.
you,
disconcerting. All right. Well, drive safely, man.
yeah,
Hong Kong,
drive
All right,
safe.
we'll do.
Hong
No,
Kong,
as
brother.
soon as
Oh,
you
and
get
tonight,
interrupted, I'm gonna have to
I got
say
this co-founder of Give Send Go doing a stream tonight at 7, and he was just examined by Parliament in Canada because of Give Send Go with the truckers. So it's going to be interesting.
Mm.
Oh,
Fascinating.
definitely.
People, rock on.
Peace.
Yeah,
All
right.
see
Later,
ya.
bye.
I'm sorry. I scheduled an 11 a.m. call in my calendar for noon, but it was really 11, so I am late. So I'm going to have to go as well. But I
Okay.
appreciate you guys. I've missed y'all. I've missed streaming
Great
with
seeing you,
y'all.
Emily.
Good seeing
See you,
you.
Emily. Good seeing you.
Joe, we're gonna have
All
to
right.
talk. I'm gonna be in New York probably in July. Spending my summer at the Southern District of New York, so we're gonna get to hang out.
Beautiful. Looking forward
Ooh.
to it.
Fun.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you guys
Later,
later.
All
Emily.
right. See you, Emily.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Trying to figure out how to leave.
Oh, just,
Yeah, how do you
just-
leave this place?
Just
Yeah,
close
how
the
dare
tab.
you.
Oh,
That's out of every party. Yes, we have a square now.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And 3
what was
guests.
with
No.
those egg shapes that you had before? What the hell is
The
going
bubbles?
on here?
That was amazing. I
I kinda like it.
fantastic, Joe. Can you bubbleize us? Thank you. I like this so much. Look, I can move around. I can hide. I can drink sneakily off the side. Nobody can see my alcoholism.
Oh, and this is how you see the two things. Oh,
Good
wow.
stuff.
Okay,
And
that
this
I
is-
kind of
yeah.
like. This I kind of like.
Mhm.
This is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Feels very,
yeah.
very
I like
dynamic.
how you could see how we each filled in our 2 lines because you get a second line here.
Oh, I
Mhm.
didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you put in your
I didn't-
locals,
I didn't-
your locals.
I didn't know what to put in there. I guess I could have put, locals on there.
Yeah. And I just
The
put in-
base.
Go base. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so I'm curious. What do you guys think about this reinstated death penalty thing?
Finish him. Oh.
Yeah, it's
Did I like what's the reasoning? Like I was confused what the issue was. It's been so long.
Nice.
The start that whole incident was so long ago.
they're
So
claiming that the lower federal court provided him a fair trial despite the national media frenzy. And essentially, they were trying to say that I guess they were arguing that he didn't get a fair trial because enough evidence with his brother was allowed to come in or something, and they were saying no, that's bullshit. Whatever. I don't know, and I guess my opinions have shifted around in terms of the intellectual sense. The guy would seem to be eligible for the death penalty no matter what. But then when I look at the trial with Rittenhouse, that's made me step back on almost every capital punishment case, because I'm like, okay, if we see this garbage going on there, I cannot be intellectually honest and not say that could be going on everywhere. I don't know if you guys have heard of Gelman, the Gelman amnesia concept.
No, what is that? Gelman amnesia? Because I don't see how that would apply in Tsarnaev's case, but I'm interested to hear about the concept.
Okay, Gelman amnesia is specifically dealing with like the press. Like, have you ever read an article and you're like, they don't know what the hell they're talking about? That's just bullshit.
Every day.
Okay, but then you read another article and you're outraged. So if the article where you have knowledge, they're wrong, how are you to know that the other article where you don't have knowledge, they're also wrong? Odds are very high that they are. Well, this is kind of the same principle I'm having here if I'm seeing this garbage going on with Rittenhouse, how do I know that every other trial is perfectly square?
You don't. However, you can look at what goes on at the trial, right? So the one thing about Rittenhouse, which was so distinct from other trials, is we all watched as Thomas Binger and Krauss got up there and did unethical thing after unethical thing in front of, everybody's eyes, right? We saw what they were doing and what it was wrong in front of us. And that kind of, in many cases, blackpilled people, right?
Right.
But there,
If
But I didn't get to watch Sarnav. I didn't get to see that.
Andrew,
But you
That's
can
a
pull the
federal
transcript.
trial.
But you
There-
can pull
no,
the
I-
transcript
it was a
if you want to.
federal.
Andrew,
Yeah, but
No,
okay,
you
but
can get
but
you
even
can get the
transcript's
written
bullshit.
transcript.
But a
Well,
transcript's
yeah,
bullshit
okay.
too, because you lose all the context. I mean, I can say
That's true.
whatever in a sarcastic manner, and there's no sarcasm font.
Yeah, there's no sarcasm when he says you're
That's
so
true, Eric.
brilliant.
/S.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry I say that about you, Joe.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think that Andrew, you're almost making Eric's point for him. If Thomas Binger is willing to publicly, in front of millions of people, and make an embarrassment out of himself as a prosecutor and push boundaries of ethics beyond anywhere that any DA should be pushing it, all the more so when someone is not on full display and they're a DA, should we not have concerns that they will push ethical boundaries?
Let me be very clear, and Danielle made the comment, like, I think that cameras should be requirements in courts. I think that everything should be required to be. I am absolutely not somebody who's against that. I think we should all be able to see it public on display, especially at the federal level, particularly at the federal level. I think we have a national interest in that information.
I agree with you. So now the question is, though, that being said, I still am an advocate of the death penalty, and I still.
I'm with you on that, Joe.
Yeah, I'm still. I'm not. I don't say like, oh, I'm worried that DAs are unethical. Therefore, no. So because some DAs are unethical, does that mean that people who ought to go shouldn't? I don't really. I think that the standard should be higher than just your reasonable doubt standard. I think or beyond reasonable doubt standard. I think it should be like a higher, like a super level of guilt that before we convict someone. But
But well, that's why we bifurcate the cases, right? In most states, like for example, Florida, right?
I think we talked about this on your channel.
Yeah, we did talk about it a little bit, but to bring it up to Eric's audience, like in Florida, we bifurcate the cases. You're convicted, right? So that's like, okay, are you guilty or innocent? Okay, yes. Do you deserve the death penalty? That is a separate case with its own separate jury, separate trial, right? And I think, that's adding that extra level where you've got to prove it twice.
Correct.
And a lot of those cases, they do not make it all the way through. They do not go and actually convict on both cases for the death penalty.
And that's the sign the system is working, at least in Florida. So,
Alita, you're really quiet on this.
I'm listening because it's correct that those are two different questions, right? Whether the prosecution is corrupt in a situation like this, and whether or not the death penalty should
and not even corrupt. It could be incompetent, by the way. It could be incompetent. It could be incompetent defense. It could be, there are other factors. I'm not immediately just going straight to corruption. I'm holding it as an example. And, let's say, okay, boom, executed. Oh, shit. Guess what? We found some evidence that blah, 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 blah. Well, let's have another trial. I guess it's a little late.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I'd like to read that decision to see why they reinstated.
So would I. I have not read it. I would definitely like to read that one.
Yeah, I definitely feel that's one of the reasons why I don't really want to jump in too much on this, is just because I feel like I'm flying a little blind here, without having read the opinion. But
right, and you can get too black. And I'm just on Eric's point. You can go. If you're going down that hole of, hey, there can be a corrupt prosecution, then it's like, okay, well, then why are we prosecuting people at all, right? Then it's just let's just drop every case, right? I mean,
well, that's right. That's why I said that it's a stakes matter. Like, somebody is put away for life without possibility of parole, thrown in a hole, whatever, and then it's discovered later, oh, we got something wrong. Well, you can at least at that point do something. Mm-hmm. And by the way, that does happen, and it has happened. We've had more and more people released, and as long as prosecutors are fighting every bit of the way, tooth and nail, to not allow DNA testing on these old convictions, I'm gonna question it. It's like, why not? Yeah. Because DNA is not that freaking expensive. I can 24andMe right now for $100 or whatever it is. It's not. It's pretty prevalent. It's pretty easy. You could probably raise money for it where the state doesn't even have to pay for it necessarily. And why are you fighting this? 99.9% of the time, it's going to come back and the DA is going to match them anyway. And it's going to say, oh, more verification. Sit there and rot.
This isn't one of those situations, though, because it's like it's the identity of the defendant isn't at issue, right? Because everyone knows he was there, and he was, this is the guy, right?
I guess the question is
whether or not the intent was there, or et cetera, et cetera.
Right. But the question was he under his brother's sway, or was he a captive? It's kind of similar to the Bernardo was it Holcomb case or whatever in Canada, the serial killer couple, because he definitely was convicted, and Paul Bernardo, I forgot her name, but anyway, she's out. She's been released, and they killed her sister and everything else. I think she was probably very much involved, but we get into those partner crimes, or the DC sniper case. Again, was this like the DC sniper case where they determined that this guy was much younger and maybe was not in control? I don't know. And does it automatically get both to the death penalty? When one of them's already dead, we did definitely want blood on the other, obviously. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now that is the question. If both of them had lived, do you think both of them would have gotten the death penalty? Or would it have been the older, definitely more radicalized, definitely more of a known figure? And with the younger one not?
Hard to know.
Pure speculation. I mean, the scope of the crime, though, and the scope of the spectacle that involved that case, I think, is very, very tough to overcome. If you guys remember, I mean, that was the biggest news, perhaps of that year.
No, yeah, I remember. I mean,
and Eric, also, the fact that it's so long ago, and people mentioned this in the chat, about this, 18 years later. I mean, the fact of the matter is that these death penalty cases aren't being carried out, like that. This isn't, where there's a trial.
This is federal. This is federal because the DC sniper, he was executed in just a handful of years. Timothy
fair.
McVeigh only lived about 5 years, so I'm going to
That's fair,
push
that's
back
fair.
on that one.
That's right.
'Cause-
But okay, but do you think 5 years is a long time or a relative? You know, I mean, 5
Well, I
years
don't
is still
know.
5
I mean-
years, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, if I'm in the, if I'm going to be executed, I'll take 5 over 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's time enough for you to appeal. It's time enough for you to file an appeal, to file challenges, to ask for a presidential pardon. Who fucking knows? I mean, it's time for you to go through all the avenues you have to possibly get out of the thing.
I don't know that, and I will also push back against myself because I know Timothy McVeigh kind of just said, screw it, I'm done.
That's
I
what
don't.
KM said.
So, here we go. Carla Homolka. I forgot her name. And of course, it's Canada where they don't have the death penalty anyway. So this is a crazy question. I don't know.
Where'd Legal Bytes go?
Wait,
So wouldn't having 2 levels of
feel like
guilt
I'm
on one prosecution
dominating
be-
my camera now.
So, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Mm.
Legal Mindset. We can't hear
Yeah,
you.
still can't hear you.
Yeah. No, we
Anyway.
can't hear you. something
No,
happened
Mike.
with your mic.
To answer your question,
And even when we can't, even when we can hear you, Legal Mindset, we're gonna act like we can't.
That's totally true.
I'm just kidding.
So, to answer your question, Mike, no, double jeopardy only works in favor of the defendant, not against the defendant. So you cannot attach him twice. You cannot attach the defendant twice. Once he clears on one hurdle, he is gone. So in the situation that Andrew was describing, he's found guilty of the crime, and then we're going to see if we find him guilty a second time.
It's a continuation. It's a continuation of the same thing because you haven't completed.
He's never been acquitted. Double jeopardy means once you're acquitted, you can't be tried again. That's what it basically means. It's to benefit the defendant.
Right.
So if they're found guilty, there's no concept of double jeopardy attaching. It's just how guilty are we going to find you.
Right. So Rittenhouse, for example, doesn't have to go through trial again after having gone through the whole
Unless
ordeal
it's civil.
and found-
It could get
Unless
civil.
it's civil.
Well, that's different because that's correct because it's
different
not
yardstick
a criminal case. And
You're
double
still
jeopardy,
muted, Andrew.
double jeopardy is specifically for criminal cases.
He looks like he lost so much weight, doesn't he? Doesn't he look so skinny?
I don't know.
I was thinking that, like, he looks like he hasn't. I don't know what's going on. He looks
maybe
really,
because he has more hair and it's making his head smaller. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out if
it's less.
if it's a Wave.video. I don't know what it is, but he looks very.
It's
to
the
me,
it's the lines of the
It's the line-
angling
right.
of the
way better.
This is
There
my
you
brief.
go.
Nothing
Yeah.
at all. Can't hear you at all.
No, this has got the. And by the way,
No.
shout out to Eric Hunley from unstructured.locals.com for recommending the Brio, which I use for my traveling.
We're trying to hear you. Can't hear anything.
Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to steal your grifting shtick. I mean, I know that's you. I know that's you. I'll leave it for you.
There we go.
Actually, Joe has the best grift for members
He's a pro.
I've ever.
I appreciate it. I study at the feet of the master, and he's amazing. He's taken his game to a whole new level, and that largesse just shares everywhere.
Actually, speaking of the master, as you put it, and the and to get back to the Jewiness.
Oh
what
no,
is it?
no,
Somebody,
no, oh,
no.
We
Somebody said that. Somebody said that
Master
Ricada. No.
Germany will
Somebody
be
said
good.
that Ricada said. What was it? Ricada is an Ashkenazi.
That was good. Schnauzer Jew.
Oh man, I have to
Love
find
that.
this. I have to
Ashkenazi
find
Jew.
this
Yeah,
thing to share
that
with
was really
you
good.
guys. If I can.
I'm sorry, that had me
that-
fall out.
Yeah, I actually fell over laughing at Ashkenazi. That was really good.
Hold on, let me find this.
That was really good.
Oh God. And yes, folks, I did invite Nick. Nick was not able to do it. He's traveling.
Yeah, he's out in California now somewhere, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
is
is
he
he really?
a conference or something? Or
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Probably Comic-Con or something like that.
It's not this time of year.
He's probably LARPing he's like dressed
LARPing
up
as a lawyer.
No, I'm saying he's got his Wonder Woman costume.
Can I share something with you though? Real quick.
sure,
here,
let's try it.
Eric?
I haven't done with a guest share.
I want to share this window, and this was sent to me by a viewer. This is Gettysburg.
Oh my God.
This
Wow.
guy. This is Gettysburg. Sam Harris.
That's
Is
freaky.
this not Nick Ricada?
That has to be him.
Nick Rekieta is in. Look
Holy
at this
God.
nose. Look at that
Yes.
shot.
Wow.
This is
Yes.
Nick Rekieta in
This
Gettysburg.
expression right here.
Holy
I think he
cow.
dies, but he's in the movie.
Wow.
That is
really
him.
does look like. I forgot
Right?
that actor.
And by the way, that was sent by a viewer that I met up with here in South Korea because they saw me on your show, Eric. So,
Really?
small world.
Wow.
Yes, actually. Really cool.
Interesting.
Wow. We have to find that actor's name. and,
Yeah,
see
we
what
do,
other work
because-
he's in.
It's Nick Rekieta. We all know it already. I mean, come on. Let's just ask him.
No,
what his
because
next
then we can have
like, how
other
was working with
shots
Sam
and we could
Harris, you know?
torture him. No, we can find other shots of that actor and hopefully
That's a
in
good
really
idea.
horrible,
Just-
embarrassing
just-
roles.
Just
And
spam
torture.
him.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a chat here. Chat. Find the actor in Gettysburg who looks like Nick Rekieta. Go. They'll
It's
find
the
it
one
for you
who's
in
not
minutes.
Sam Elliott, because Sam Elliott
Not
is the
Sam
one
Elliott.
with the mustache.
Yeah, we won't get confused by Sam Elliott. Well, oh, speaking of which, what did you think about Sam Elliott's interview with Mark Maron, that podcast?
Oh, I haven't seen it. What do you say? Was
Yeah.
it
Oh
crazy?
God, people got really, really upset because he called what the Cumberbatch movie. That's
Cumbersnatch.
whatever. Benedict Cumberbatch, his movie that's getting nominated for all the awards.
Gonna need to be specific.
Power of the Dog, Power of the Dog.
Power.
I think it's like,
Slumdog Millionaire.
No, that's years ago,
That was
Joe.
years. That was like a decade ago.
And I don't think
Over a
he's
decade
Indian.
ago.
I think it's Power of the Dog. Hold on, the Power of the Dog. Yes. Anyway,
I'm
he
not familiar.
he
sounds
railed
weird.
against it and called it a piece of shit.
Who did? Benedict?
Sam
No,
Elliott?
Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott.
Well,
did.
I think they should call him out.
Well, the reason why I said it was because there was a ton of homoerotic things with it, and so of course, the woke brigade is really very upset with Sam. Very, very, very upset with him.
I don't think Sam gives a shit.
Was it? He said illusions of homosexuality, and questioned the director's credentials for directing a Western. And because he railed about that too. He said, "What the hell are you doing in New Zealand?
Yeah.
What do you know about Westerns and our culture?" And
Yep.
good point. If you want a proper Western in Australia, call Tom Selleck. That's funny. Anyway, so I just thought it was interesting. But then I'm looking up. It's like he's 77 years old. I don't know, but he was like, what was it? He was complaining about all Cumberbatch is wearing were like different chaps, and
Were
he
they
said he
assless?
doesn't even ride a horse.
There are many women who probably would be very interested in seeing this movie based on that description. I know he has quite a following of women.
Yes, quite a femme symptom. Yes, they're there.
Anyway, I just didn't know if you guys had seen it. Yeah, Wiggly Down.
I
Under, so.
hadn't. But
No, but I mean, Joe is well
interesting.
familiar with the agenda, and I mean, we can just turn it over to our expert on what's going
Yeah,
on.
Joe
with
won't say
Hollywood and
anything
everything else.
controversial. I didn't
No,
have the
no,
chat like
not at
lit up
all.
before he even came on. I was like,
No,
"Oh, what? I haven't watched Joe for a few days. What have you been up to? Pissing everybody off." Okay, I see. Joe's being Joe.
Last night I had my longest rant. Lady Lawgic said that was the longest rant I've ever given. It was like a 20-minute.
what was it on?
A topic.
No. We're not going to go into that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Today-
Just I was gonna say.
I'll just say this. It was
General,
It was in general. It was
What does
about.
it rhyme with?
It's a bunch of Congress people standing behind a mutated flag of merging
Okay.
America with Ukraine. And
yes.
that-
Okay. Understand.
And I lost it on that picture. I really like everything about Congress. I lost it on them.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that was like.
Oh,
like
speaking of
20,
Congress,
25 minutes.
Speaking of Congress, what did you guys think of Nancy?
Oh my God,
That
was
was
she not like?
weird.
Was she not on something? Like, there's no way that
I'll
reaction
tell you what
was
happened.
like the.
To be fair, I know what
Okay.
happened there. She thought he was going to say something else. He started saying the whole thing, and all of a sudden he starts talking about burn people or whatever. I think burn pits or something like that. And she was like, thought he was like going to say something about like, how these people need to be stood up for. So she was like leading the pack as far as standing up and applauding. And then she realized, oh my God, I'm about to applaud military people getting, burnt alive or whatever. That's not good. So let me change my motion here. And she did that awkward thing. That's what actually happened. And also, I'm convinced what actually happened is the last 3 words that he said after "God bless America, go get him." That "go get him" was, I'm positive, was actually him reading instructions to his handlers to get him off stage.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
no,
I saw
no,
your
he's done
tweet
that.
about that. I
Holy
saw your
shit.
tweet about that.
There's
I'm
no
sorry.
question
That's
in
Could
my
be
mind.
true. I like that theory, though.
No. He has read. No, what there was another time he kept reading the teleprompter, and he said something like "end of transmission."
No.
So I forgot.
And the transmission. And he'll say it loud, proudly, because it's clear that everything he's saying, he has no idea what the hell he's saying. Because he'll be like, and that's why we got to go on. And that's going to be the direction America's going to take for the future and forever. And the transmission.
And
Like,
it
he
was
says
like
the same
literally
tone.
reading through. But yeah, by the way, classy mom, I only have 3 channels. Okay, I'm gonna stop at 3.
Only have 3.
I think you've
Only? I mean, who's the real
You-
tripod here?
like,
It's Eric Hunley
Eric-
with his 3
Eric
channels.
Hunley. Eric Hunley is to YouTube channels as the single female 40-somethings are to cats.
Oh, okay. I like the way you went with that. I approve. 3 is like
So
the minimum for crazy cat
are you
lady.
saying I'm a
Yes, this is
channel
true. This
lady?
is true.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yes,
channel lady.
yes, yes. You're gonna end up with 8. You're gonna be feeding the neighborhood.
Maybe. I don't know. Does anybody have any stray monetized channels they want to give up?
You'll be taking in the unmonetized ones because you feel bad for them.
No, not that bad.
It's a rescue channel.
No, there is a reason that I do it, and hopefully it'll clean up. But it's a whole niching problem. I broke off America's Untold Stories because I do that with Mark Robert, and it's very specific content. And by the way, it's been proven out right, because if you guys look back at YouTube, you'll see what other channels your viewers watch. When I go to America's Untold Stories, guess which channel doesn't show up as something the viewers watch?
Yours? Your
Yep.
other ones?
Yep.
That's pretty funny.
So
That's pretty funny. That's actually a great sign. That's beautiful for your growth. That means you can have natural crossover. Say, hey, you guys need to check this out because they haven't been.
right.
That's
right.
one.
And
That's one instance where diversity is actually strength.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I believe in diversity, just mental.
Yeah.
Just thought. But yeah, no, I did that, and also I just felt like people would come on to learn about body language and then have to look at you goofy lawyers, and it's
Well, we have the worst body.
and that's
Ridiculous
offensive.
goofballs.
Yeah.
And
Alita with her hands. I'm like,
What do you mean? With my hands.
the great shot with your brother. I mean, that one was amazing. Where you're like crisscross, you're like karate chopping yourself there.
I don't know what I was talking about during that freeze frame. I don't know. I don't know what to do with my hands.
that's right. I haven't checked out your show with him or not. I hope there's lots of content.
He's all fun. He came on mine. We did bathroom reviews of different toilets. It was amazing. I brought him on my channel. We played some word games. It was fun time.
Who are you talking
I was
about?
going to bring him on for the news when I do the news thing.
Oh yeah, you should. You should. He would enjoy that.
Yeah, it's hard with the time zones. Andrew, you haven't done the news yet, have you?
No, I mean, this is even hard for me. I actually took a nap before I got on.
No. I do it at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So I figured that would be morning
PM
for
or
you.
AM?
9 p.m.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
that for me
that's
is harder. A lot harder.
Yeah,
But
she's
I think
not
for
quite-
I
legal
got you.
mindset, it's a lot easier.
I got you, girl.
How many hours are you behind the East Coast or ahead of the East Coast?
I don't do
You're
that.
ahead,
Like
'cause you're-
it's like 14.
What time are you at now? What time
It's
is
the
it?
opposite. It is 3:22 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 14 hours.
You're in the same time as Australia,
Friday.
right? I have
Well,
friends
it
in
can sometimes
Australia.
be an hour off, but yeah, close. Yeah,
Well, there's 3 time zones in Australia.
exactly.
I figured you gotta.
Are you in Melbourne or
you-
Sydney?
like-
Are you talking Melbourne or Sydney? You're in one of them.
no, Brisbane probably, because they don't do a time change there. So that anyway, yeah, I have friends in Australia, so I try to line that up. And I don't know, are you in line with Philippines or not?
I believe we're 1 hour off from them. I'd have to check. I know we're in line with Japan and I forget who else. I think maybe Philippines. Definitely
Okay.
Japan though.
All right, what was it? Did you guys see that the officer with Brianna Taylor was found not guilty?
He got off.
I always hate that term "got off" because there's an implication there.
Okay.
Well, actually, I do like the term in a different context.
There you go. Thank you, Eric. Cheers.
Catch it.
Yeah, no, because it sounds like he should have been convicted, but he he was allowed to leave.
Yeah, it does kind of. Yeah.
No, I get that. No, I mean, yeah. So he was found not guilty. I guess I should more properly say. I would agree with that. That probably does have a bad implication for a lot of people.
Well, like O.J. Simpson, most would say got off.
Yes,
I know. As an example.
Depending on where you fall in the spectrum of things, right? Because
not even, Alita. I think that most people, even who were pro OJ, were saying, no, we know he's in it, we know he's guilty, but we still want it. We want this W. Like we care about the W more than the fact that we know he did it. It's that was irrelevant. To a lot of
then
people.
again, Barnes doesn't agree with that.
Barnes thinks OJ was
Barnes thinks he's innocent.
Yeah.
Well,
When there are questions, some people are saying it might have been his son. Let me see, Joe. That was the master control program coming through. Remember Tron when Flynn talks to the computer? Always ends with end of transmission. Joe probably doesn't. I don't know. You're not big. I
like
sci-fi,
Tron.
right?
Tron's a good movie.
Tron is good.
I never saw Tron, but yeah,
I even like Tron Legacy. Tron Legacy was still good, and the girl in it was cute. So yeah, it was a good movie.
By the way, one thing I think you guys might like about this software is I have a selection on the chat where I have all, and then supers is like its own thing. So I can click right over and just look at supers.
Really?
Does it keep all of them?
If I want to catch up. Yeah. I've got 7 here so far.
Nice.
And they're all here. They're in descending order by amount. So that's something I bet Nick would love because he can very quickly see the $20 pops. And then you just go right down the line.
Do you have to sign up? Like, do you have an affiliate link here?
Do we use?
I can hook you guys up.
Do we use promo code unstructured? Is that like when we sign up to this thing?
I have no idea. I haven't even set anything up with them. I don't think it's completely released yet. But anyway, I just it's something that I've noticed because it's not showing the color though on the screen like what I just showed a minute ago. That is, let me go to a super chat. That is a super chat.
Oh man,
and here's one that it
got off double meaning. Oh, come on.
Oh, that's a super chat right there.
Yes, this is a super chat.
Oh, but you can't tell the color. You can't tell anything else.
Well, right now it's going to come into effect. And hold on, let me see if this is yeah, please about it. Anyway, these are all super chats.
Please, I didn't even ask.
They're
no one even
colored.
asked me that question.
That was before.
That was a super chat. Oh, that was before.
Yeah,
before you came. Yeah.
Yeah, you were late. Anyway,
No.
it's colored on the right where I see it, but it's not on the screen yet. That's going to be added probably within a week. Cool. These guys are adding and moving features, very, very quickly.
So they're really taking a run at StreamYard, which is cool.
StreamYard, Restream.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different services. I love it because that just means everybody has to, step up their game.
Do you think they're watching right now? Do you think they're watching this live stream? Maybe.
Who, Wave?
To see how things. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. He watched me on Wednesday night because he dropped a super chat, but I don't know.
There is, if they are listening, or if there's any way that someone can get this to them, I would say that my biggest gripe with StreamYard is not being able to set up multiple share windows ahead of time, because that always bogs down my live streams when I have multiple, different articles or something, and I want them to be individual tabs. I don't want to do the whole.
Guess what? You can have a window full of tabs, right?
Yeah.
And you can go tab, and then there's a little button right to the right saying share this one.
What?
So you can go hit another tab and just say share this one, share this one, share this one.
Okay.
I think they got added to StreamYard too, by the way. I think that's a new addition. But if you are sharing a tab.
Oh, you're saying on Wave you could do that, not on StreamYard. Because
Well,
every
I
time
think
I got
you
to close
can.
out
Saying
the tab
both.
and then reopen it.
I think they may have just added on StreamYard, but they definitely have it on here.
Okay.
Where if you go to one of the tabs, as long as it's the same, system, like I'm on Brave, if I have a Brave, series of tabs, whichever tab I'm on, if it's not selected, there will be a button where I can select it.
Now,
So you
Alita,
can get that same effect.
You're going to have to close the only feet tab before you go into this. I mean, that's going to be a big problem for you. I know.
Only fans, only feet.
Only feet. Only feet.
Anyway, but that one
Damn.
that is a nice. I think they already
Such a
have you
hassle.
covered. Already have you covered there.
Wow. Okay.
Awesome. No, this looks great. Like I really like the aesthetics of it. Just have to make sure it's working smoothly.
Oh yeah, for sure. And again, this is why I'm, doing this now is to help them because this stress tests it very much. There's 875 people, 873 watching. That's probably a larger audience than normal that they get. So I was scared to do this a couple weeks back, but now they've added more and more because I was like, guys, you've got to help me on the super chats. I have to be able to identify them. And now they have that. So once it's on the screen, then I can almost consider doing this full time.
Yeah, if you can't identify super chats, there's no way you can use this program. I mean, you have to be able to, because people are paying for you to read those specific ones out there. And
Yeah.
it's
Also,
a big deal. I will tell you, I like the fact they collect on the side. That's a great thing because I'll end up being like 20 minutes behind. If I'm covering a story, like you and I, we're talking about, let's say, the winery dispute between Brangelina. And it's like we get engaged in the conversation.
Yes.
There's 4 or 5, the chat keeps rolling, and there's a super chat or 2 super chats in the middle of that whole thing. And then you ask the questions to the audience. You want to get feedback from them. So you have a choice. Do I stay up here by these super chats so I don't lose them? I could bring them up later. Or do I go with the active stream, that chat that's happening so I can engage with them while the conversation's happening? And you sort of choose to sacrifice one or the other. Or I'm going to end up wasting time later on coming back.
There's a screenshot of it. So you can see all supers. So this I really like because especially if I miss something, it's going really fast. I can now utilize this to go look up and say, hey, what did I miss, guys? Let me check these.
That's
So
pretty cool.
I think that that's pretty helpful. Actually, let me do a screenshot of the whole damn window, and then you can see. And I hope this isn't boring the hell out of everybody. Let me see.
No, I mean this is a window into what we talk about. When we cut this because we're still talking about this stuff. Trying to make it nice for you guys because we want it to be nice and presentable and beautiful.
And then
does it work well if I have you tested out sharing a screen? You want me to I have a good tab to share.
Yeah, he just shared. I
shared his. I
shared my screen.
Anyway, here's what this window looks like on my end.
Oh boy, that's a hell of a freeze frame right there.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
But you can see everything that's going on. You've got all these options here with the different types of windows that I was showing you. You can build scenes. So like you could set up an entire function. You got multiple cameras going in, so you can have side cameras, different things going. It's highly confusing for me to look at this and look at that still shot. I'm just like,
I like it. It's like, why are you moving, Mr. Photo? Like you should be frozen.
But anyway, you've got all, and then you can also star.
It's true.
Star
what they
chats,
say, by the way,
which is cool.
It's true what they say. The camera adds 10 pounds to my nose. So
yes. Just the nose.
Could just the nose. And by the way, I have right now multiple screen shares open, so I can go right back and forth between the different ones.
Nice.
If I had windows, so like I can have a video and a browser, like multiple things available at one time. So there's some really, really cool options that this offers. Let me remove.
I'm very intrigued for sure.
So yeah, I can let them know. But anyway, so that's my new toy and why I'm using this, because I love that. That's going to put pressure on StreamYard and everybody else to up their game and come up with some new ideas too. I think StreamYard, they've been very reliable, but they've been a little complacent. They got bought out by somebody, and I don't feel like they're as motivated anymore. I don't know what you guys think.
No, I agree. it's that status quo. You hit that status quo. You don't need to innovate anymore. And certainly you're not, listening. If you submit a comment to StreamYards, Eric, they're not doing it live and going and updating it. So these guys are obviously hungry, and they know that, creators will catch on. They'll adopt it. They'll recommend it to other creators. I mean, that's how you really, grow a product. And, that's what differentiates you from the big tech corporations.
Yeah. Also, another thing about this is it's got a built-in editor. This company started out as an online editor, so every live stream you do, you can chop up right in the application itself.
Oh.
That's amazing.
No, that's pretty cool.
And I think they may have automation to where you can chop pieces of it and transcriptions and all that going on too. I forgot about all that, but that's actually how they were founded. Is Wave.video is an online video editor, so that's where they start. So now we're building the content that can be edited.
Okay.
And you can give teams. I don't know how to do it here, but I think I can also give controls like to you guys. Like, let me see.
Ooh,
get out of here.
Yeah,
don't give Joe the power. It'll go to his head with the NYPD hat. They'll start batoning me. It'll be over. That's it.
Here we go. I can bump you up.
He'll ban LegalBytes from a Burger King. It'll go crazy.
All right, Andrew, you are now co-host.
Oh my gosh, it literally says you got powers. This is really problematic.
Yeah. This is like the exact opposite of your sex life. So,
Joe. Oh my God! Just for that, we're putting the bubbles, you motherfucker. So,
all right, here. This is gonna get hectic, everybody. If you stay, that's on you. But everybody has power now.
No.
Wow. That's crazy.
I think I just sold the software to everybody.
Yeah, you totally did. No, I'll tell you why. If you
great.
have a long live stream, if you have a long, let's say you're doing a whole day thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and if I'm doing a whole day thing or a trial like Nick Ricada does, and he's got to step out and go grab food or
somebody else can be pulling up chats or while we're all talking. I've done with David when you could be pulling up chats that are striking your fancy or whatever. Or what have you? I mean,
wow.
So there's 4 co-hosts.
So if I hit this button, I'm just wondering if I hit this button,
it's getting a little laggy on my end. I don't know.
So that makes, and I can change who's. I don't even. I'm pressing these buttons here. I'm trying to figure out how this.
Oh God!
But I make you. You're always the one on top though, unless we change.
Well, okay, that's how Eric likes it.
Andrew.
Sorry, Joe started it. We're back to the bubbles. This is fun.
Interesting. So now it's not showing the super chat when I put it up. So now, there we go.
What? Can it show the super chat whether we're bubble form?
I can definitely.
It definitely has lag for me. That's for sure.
I think we're straining it. So this is good though. I mean, this is actually helpful to them to
kick Jax Murphy. I like that name. Very good.
Yes, me too. Okay, we're up to 10 super chats. What did I miss? Yeah, go look at the right now because you guys can see the chats and the breakdown.
No, it's really cool. Starred, shown. Like there's a lot of different tabs here, a lot of different functionality. Hopefully this stays kind of relatively lag free and doesn't, isn't buggy or anything like that. But if it stays like this, I think this is pretty useful.
Oh, I think that they're onto something here, and this will help them fix it. Oh, good. It's got timestamps. So here, I'm seeing who I'm missing. Okay. One thing is alert him when certain individuals ping him so he sees it. Yes. By the way, that's other functions you can do on this is you can have a director mode. So you can have somebody literally in there like a producer type mode where they're not seen.
Backstage?
Yes. You can have like a producer.
That is great.
I can make one of my mods a producer if I wanted to.
Yes, and they have the mods bringing up
with
the
great
chat.
power comes great responsibility.
You can do that on StreamYard too.
Okay.
You can have someone backstage like that.
Yes, really? But I think that this gives them more power. You have to pay more money to get more on stream power. Let's see. Here, director
get rid
voice.
of the duck, right? I mean, we all want to get rid of
I'll tell you this much. I was suggesting to Viva Frei once he started really exploding and he's doing Robert Barnes stuff. And I see he's like constantly juggling between super chats and this and that. It's impossible for any human to keep track of everything. I was like, you need a producer. Just get a producer to handle the show. This way you can.
He won't do it. He will not do it. He will not do it because he has to control it. He's very, very clear on that.
Control
I've talked to him a lot.
freak.
No. I mean, look,
I was like, you'll make more money. I mean, it's so worth it for you.
it's not worth it to him for his
it's
reputation.
about product. Yeah. I understand.
Like I was on with him with the Dershowitz. He asked me. He'll ask me sometimes if there's something really touchy or he's concerned. But
just to have a friend kind of help out with that.
Well, somebody he trusts is not going to. How do I put it? I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he does not want to overly censor people, and he knows that I'm not going to stomp on people. He's very, very liberal about you can say what you want about him, you can mock him, you can do this and that, but you can't spam, can't do porn. I think his standards are very reasonable, and also just try to keep it down in the chat a little bit. Calm down, that type of thing.
Right.
But sometimes he'd have people mod, and they just start kicking, people out, and he's like, he does not want that.
Yeah,
it's a hard line. It's a hard line.
My perspective is don't be racist and don't violate terms of service and don't spam. If you keep with that, I don't care. You can hate on me. You could hate on anyone that you want.
I'm touchy about the guests too. I kind of am a little touchy because if I invite your guests a little bit, I'm sorry. If I invite somebody to my stream, I don't think it's completely
fair to someone ranks on me, are you going to throw them out? Someone ranks on me,
Eric, no, but this is my rule.
Well, no, I mean that's their job. I recruit
if they make
that.
one comment like, "Hey, I don't like this guy," like that's fine.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, the point is that people will one person will be like spamming, "I don't like this guy. F this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy's an idiot." Blah blah blah. If it's the same sort of thing over and over and over again, and that's all they're putting every 30 seconds, then I'm like, okay, well, you're getting maybe timed out. And
I time them or mute them when they do that. When they especially like all caps repeated. No, screw that.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I tend to be
like LegalBytes. She has a cat. Don't trust her.
Here's something for you, Andrew.
Oh, I love it. Give it to me, baby.
Read it.
Where's
you guys like the intro, outro? You can have intros like.
I love. Why can't you see it? I see it.
There you go. Now I see it. If you guys like the intro, you can have epic intros like Andrew and Legal Mindset. No, I need to send him.
I would love to have that. I would love to have
got me an intro.
Outro.
Yes.
I mean, I actually last night on my stream, I was asking my audience to vote on 3 different potential intros along what I used to, and if someone can take it and enhance it, I am always looking.
No, he did a good job. I can share his information with you, Joe. I'm going to deploy that quite soon. I was moving this week in apartment hunting. I actually ended up getting a different apartment than I thought I was going to get. So yeah, I've been busy, but yes.
Anyway, that's James Esparza, aka Tape Damage, on my locals. I think you guys are all my locals. You can get him with him there too, but he does amazing work.
Very good.
Oh, cool.
So
nice.
You guys saw that video, that news report in Pittsburgh that came out a couple of days ago, where I'm trying to find the tweet. I can't find that. I shared it on my stream. It's a very short video, like 17 seconds long, and it's a serious situation that's happening in Pittsburgh where they're trying to identify someone. Some of your viewers may be from Pittsburgh. If you want me, I can share it. I think this is an important thing.
Sure. I don't know,
but I don't have the original tweet. All I have is me doing it. Is me sharing it 2 nights ago.
What's the topic, Joe?
It's a manhunt going on in Pittsburgh for a dangerous predator. So if you indulge me for a second, where I'm going to share my screen here.
We are always indulging you, Joe.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So yeah, this was the story. How do I show on stream?
I'm not sure. Kick Jacks Murphy.
There you go. So this is what I shared there, and I want to share with each of you, so your viewers can help find. Is it the volume on? Can you hear the volume?
Yes.
I don't know. I can't hear the guy in the hat talking.
Oh wait. Oh, I think there's a massive delay for me. I didn't even realize you were sharing a screen.
Give it a second. I'm seeing it.
Let's do it this way. All right. Check this out. Can you hear?
Yes.
Check.
I can't.
This is great.
Is it though? Is it great?
Let's get your volume up. It's coming up. That's coming. That's coming.
Is it?
Let's watch Joe tool around here.
And no arrests have been made. A 71-year-old man is accused of inappropriately touching a 12-year-old girl at the.
I think I know.
Oh, yes, I
I think
remember
I can help
that.
him
Somebody
find
was
him.
talking about that.
I think I know who that is.
Yes, yes. You should have clipped that, by the way.
Got him.
Oh,
Oh my god, so good.
Now, my only argument is he's not 71, guys. He's much older.
I watched it, but I just want to use. I find this guy's face is the best part.
Touching a 12-year-old girl at the Walmart in West Mifflin Sunday afternoon.
He knows.
Oh, do it one more time. Do it again.
Unfortunately,
Do it again.
yeah, I can't see or hear any of this video right now unless I'm looking at the 10
Man, that's just like the
version that's
Applebee's.
actually already
That's
broadcast
just
on
like the Applebee's. That is so
Okay.
good. Oh, you
So
can't
that's
see you can't see.
Oh,
or hear
well,
any-
we were just having lag.
No,
issues.
I can only see us four on the side. I can't see anything else that's on the screen.
That's
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, I mean, this is again we're testing this out. We're putting
yeah.
the screen.
But this
Audience,
guy's
be,
You know what,
be
I'm
in
gonna
the chat
demote-
for Brandon if you saw it well. If it worked well for you, be in the chat for Brandon. FJB if it didn't work.
I just want that. Look at his co-anchor's face there. Look at the co-anchor's face when she said that. I was like, that's his face, like saying, "Oh my god, our careers
existential
are over."
crisis.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, our existence is over as we know it. I love that face. Oh my god. All right. Well, anyway, let me get rid of this. I don't know how I hide from stream and get it out. So,
right.
if any of you are aware, if to just keep on the lookout for any 70-year-old, who is, 71-year-old who's out there who's inappropriately touching.
Oh,
12-year-old.
LegalBytes was demoted. Oh.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Ooh.
I'm
I'm
trying to see-
lost my powers.
Introduced to
No.
guest.
How am I going to survive? I'm a
so
pleb.
weak. I
Yeah,
feel
you
so
guys
weak.
are so much trouble. I just cannot handle that. No, I wanted to see if that's going to stabilize everything.
I like how there's an emoji next to it, like with the UGG face. It's like very good. It's cute. I like that. It's a
I
nice
want to
touch.
share. I want to share also if they're watching us. One of the problems I don't like here is when I press new messages, and I want it to go all the way to the bottom. Like I'm all the way
Yes.
behind. I don't like the fact that when I press new messages, it randomly goes down like a tiny little bit, and shows me.
And the fact that you have to actively stay current on the messages. I don't.
I want it to actually
Mhm.
like.
I
just keep
would like
scrolling
to
for me.
default.
Well,
it
hold on.
to
That's a
scroll.
problem. I've actually thought about that because I do want to stay in place if I'm busy or whatever, or I'll lose my place. If it just keeps automatically scrolling as I go, then that gets confusing too. There's a weird balance. I don't know if I want to anchor it, but maybe having a super chat separated will help in that regard too. Because honestly,
Or-
if there's too many messages, I just can't show them all anyway. I just sit there going click, 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 and it'll be the whole show.
Or
But
maybe have a button to scroll and not scroll, like to pause it and scroll it.
right, or if something is, well, I was going to say if
If
something's
that's
selected,
possible,
but
I
then
don't
that
know
would
if
be
that's
on the
selected.
screen. So, yeah, that's something I think that there's some nuance there that has to be worked out to get it to have a good feel. Andrew, you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, wait, you
actually
are. We don't want to hear you anyway. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Andrew, they're screwing with you. We hear you fine. Keep talking.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're not. Joe's the one
It's a
that's
very
screwing with
late
you.
night for Andrew. He's sitting there going, okay, I'm just going to leave. I'm done with you. Hell with everybody. I'm going to start throwing things at the air conditioning unit behind my head. And let's just put words in his mouth. What do we want Andrew to say? Andrew, okay, if somebody reads lips. Yeah, Andrew's saying, Joe, I love you. I love you, Joe. Joe, I want to be on your show soon. Joe, I love you. He does. It's a deep, abiding relationship. Yeah. Joe loves
I'm
you too.
sorry, this is too much. This is too much. This is too much.
Oh. Come on, there better be the meme makers. If you guys aren't watching this section, then not doing anything with it, you're both fired. Come on. Oh.
Oh
right.
man. Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah,
still
we
can't
put-
hear you.
put
Legal
them together.
mindset.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, still can't hear you.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Maybe.
All right,
Whoa,
well,
I'm
you know-
oval. I'm oval. You guys are round and I'm oval. How'd that happen?
Oh, he's gone.
Wow, this is some serious delay. Oh,
Yeah, there's really bad delay now.
yeah. Well, I think.
It's the North Koreans. Guys.
Yeah.
Still
Right,
can't hear
also.
you.
Oh, this is something I do like. Is every time he rejoins, it pops back in the window, so it's not like I have to go find him on the bottom and then re-add him.
You don't have to add me.
No,
There
every
you
time you
go.
come back in, you just come
Now
back
we
in,
can hear you.
which is really a nice feature. When people drop out, they can go out and in, out and in, and just show up.
That's what she
Versus,
said.
well, you know, whatever works in your household, Joe.
Well, Joe's has enough. Like Joe can field an army over there with like his relatives. So I think Joe's done some out and in his day.
Out. By the way, are you guys all using this on Chrome or what are you using?
Chrome.
Yeah.
Okay, it is Chrome. So the problem. Okay, page unresponsive. This is
That's
gonna be
what I got.
interesting.
That's my error.
Okay.
Oh, I had that once or twice, and I just waited, and
It's
then it
usually
went
with
away.
the chat.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on in the window, and I will be talking to them about that.
See, if the chat was just more silent, really, it's the chat talking too much, guys. I mean, really, it's all your fault, chat. It's all
Too much.
876 of you. You know what it is? It's because you haven't smashed the like button.
There you
And right
go.
now,
That's it.
you don't
And
smash
you know what?
the
You
like
haven't
button,
subscribed.
this stream will fail. It will shut down. All of our windows will close unless you smash it in the next 30
Absolutely.
seconds.
Absolutely. And have you subscribed yet?
To all
mean-
3 channels?
All
Yes.
4?
There's only
All
3.
6 channels.
Only 3. And again, there's a reason why I'm doing that.
No, Eric, your 3 and our 3.
Oh well, there's a priority 3, and then there's your stuff. No,
We are on his channel right now. It's true. It's true.
no, I'm just kidding. And everybody should have their locals listed, but nobody bothered.
Excuse me?
Hacks. Oh, okay. So you finally did. There you go.
Oh, I don't
Legal
count as a
Bytes.
human now? Okay, I see how it is, Eric. I see how it is.
Well, you're Tomorrowland. I don't know who you are. On that note, folks, subscribe to everybody twice with every account you have.
No.
Steal
3
other people's
times.
phones.
An odd number, because if they do it twice, they'll unsubscribe.
Oh,
Yes.
good point.
Odd number.
That's
We like odd numbers.
well, we are an odd number.
Yeah, well, that is true. That is very true.
All right,
So, Eric,
people
do you have any things you're covering that are like coming up?
Yes.
on the site?
Well, I'm doing America's Untold Stories today at 5:30. It is not going to be Baldwin. Yay.
I was gonna say you cover Baldwin more than like the media covers Ukraine.
No,
Not saying something.
not quite. Because the thing is, in my defense, there's a guy H.A. Goodman that was doing up to 3 videos a day on Baldwin. So when we
Wow.
were doing one a week for a while, that's not excessive. When you have other channels that are doing them daily, multiple times daily,
How do
and
you do multiple in a
Well,
day? I mean, during
they would just pull
trial,
up every article. Every article.
There's
that was
demand
out there.
for it, and there's demand for it. You see those things, even if you do it once a week,
Yes.
people are watching them.
I
Yeah,
guess.
no. Anyway, so today we're doing a diner, and just trust me on this. If you haven't watched America's Untold Stories, my show partner Mark Robert is like the Forrest Gump of pop culture. He has led the craziest life you can imagine,
Okay.
and
I was like, in what way are we comparing?
No,
him
no,
to
no, I
It
Forrest
doesn't
Gump?
sound complimentary in any way, shape, or form. But I'll go with you on this. He loves shrimp.
well, he's of your tribe, Joe. So chill out.
I don't.
You're now going to
care.
be banned from
Everyone,
media
you
because
know,
obviously, he's going to call his bros.
I want to say this. A lot of people are like, Zelensky is Jewish. Yeah, he's Jewish. He's like the hero of the decade. Zelensky. It's like, yeah, he's Jewish. I don't care. I don't think that someone should be praised that they're Jewish when they're in a good light, and I don't think they should be mention that they're Jewish when they're in a bad light. The same way I don't want people. I think it's ridiculous people talk about Epstein being Jewish. I don't want to hear about Zelensky being Jewish. It's like just stop it. Just stop it. It's all those irreligious Jews always make a fixation about someone's bloodline. Who
Oh,
gives
look
a
at this.
damn?
I love it when the chat tries to help me out. I don't know if it's going to appear on the screen, but KM is pointing out that over my left shoulder, you have a JFK book. Why is that book on my shelf? Oh, because we cover JFK. We did 2 episodes on that.
There's nothing
why do
mysterious
we do
about that.
that?
What's to talk about JFK, Eric? I mean,
Yeah,
that's all
go figure.
straightforward, right?
Yeah. By the way, Mark co-wrote a 10-part miniseries on Lee Harvey Oswald with this little-known director, producer guy, Vietnam vet. I don't know. You might have heard of him. His name's Oliver Stone. So
Kind of rings a bell.
I don't know. Sounds sketch.
Anyway,
I'll tell you this much. What do you think about the fact that these these chats you bring up block the lower half of the face instead of pumping?
You're just mad about that, Joe, because you can't vertically project. You know, I mean, come on.
Okay.
No, here we go. This is the creator of it. If it comes up, Dimitri, we're going to be talking.
I stretch. I'm a grower, not a shower. So.
Oh, I'm hiding below the super chat so I can laugh at this one.
You know, I think I might have to kill this window and come back in. I don't know yet.
Really? Oh no. It's going to be. You really want to leave Elena, Joe, and I in charge of your channel for 3 minutes?
Yeah, we got it. Don't worry, Eric. We got it. Just turn it over. Turn the reins over. We're good. You step out, do what you have to do. We'll be in charge.
We'll take care of this.
We'll do the lightning agenda round. Don't worry.
Oh
yeah. Fine.
All right. I'm trying to pull this up on a stream. This is Dimitri Skavish, and he is the guy behind this software.
Okay.
And I definitely put you guys in contact with him and them to get you on board if you want to try it.
Awesome.
As you can see, it's beta. And, you know, Dimitri, if you've been watching for a while, you know, rewind a bit because we're going through different features and running into some issues.
Yeah.
And like right now, it took me forever to get something to unselect so I could put that up there. And I do agree. I don't care for the covering of
I don't know
faces,
if it was,
but it doesn't do it if I get the different view.
Do that
all the
do
time.
The other view.
So the one thing that caused an error for me, Eric, was when I was clicking away. Like that seems to be like if I click on any other tab, sometimes the other tabs, if they're like busy or something else, maybe, I don't know. That's what crashed it.
It does. It keeps our face covered no matter what. Yeah, I think that would be definitely an improvement to just. I don't like it much when it goes whoop, up down with StreamYard all the time. That kind of drives me crazy. There's got to be a balance in there somehow too.
I don't know what the balance would be though. How would that balance work?
I'm not sure. Maybe a more translucent overlay, or maybe less of an extreme bump. Because with the StreamYard, it seems like it really, does a big lurch.
Because sometimes the chat is very big, though. Sometimes the chat has a lot of words to it. So, like the $2 chats are you're never going to have as much of a problem as you would with a $50 chat. That's really someone's using up their character. I want to mention to Dimitri also that like I keep getting error messages when I fall behind in the live chat and I want to bring down to the current chat. I can't even get down to. I get these error messages and delays. It's a little. That part is a bug that really needs to be sorted out. And it looks like it has promise. It has promise.
Oh no, and that's why. That's
what a beta is.
And I wanted to do it with this show because
most betas don't have promise. So
I mean, look, we've got 800.
You could be an alpha one day, guys. I think it can happen. just join the Seminole Order version. Yeah, just join the Seminole Order. You'll be fine.
All right. Well, definitely take notes. I've got another. Jeez, guys, I'm having problems bringing up the super chat, so I apologize. I mean, I can't bring up any chat at the moment. Everything's getting a little bit wonky.
See the unbreadeds in the chat.
I see a lot of people saying B in the chat, like literally.
Somebody said something to show B earlier. I don't remember what it was. Okay,
show B.
No, I think Andrew said that. It was the clip that Joe shared.
Oh yeah.
Well, somebody
to indicate if they were able to see and hear the video.
B's in the chat if it was working smoothly, and it worked smoothly.
Yes.
So the B's were good. B is good.
Yeah.
B is the technology was functioning. Now you're muted.
Sorry, excuse me.
You're muted, Eric. I can't hear you.
You should just give us control. It's Dimitri's way of saying it's time to turn the reins over.
So for me, the only thing that fixed muting was leaving and coming back. But that's just from one.
Dimitri said to anybody who's ready to boycott people just based on their name, half of our team is in Ukraine. Can we talk about the fact that Disney has removed Anastasia? Oh, that's that.
Oh yeah, the vodka stuff. I mean, literally, so Miami is known as like the Russian Riviera, and when I was only joking about the OnlyFans partly because my friend lives in a building with a lot of these girls that are the Instagram models, the cam girls, all this other stuff, and he looked over at this girl and he was just talking to her because she was attractive and was like, "Oh hey, where are you from?" And she's like, "I'm one of those," and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm Russian." And like, it was like an ashamed thing. So it's like, it's kind of a weird time when people would feel like that in the United States, especially.
Sounds kind of racist.
It does feel weird. Yeah.
It really feels racist. Like as if like, oh, you are OnlyFans.
We got the power.
We have. Do any of you have control? Because I don't have any controls.
No, I have no control.
See, this is chaos now. We're just
Lydia just hangs in there, prays that we don't say something stupid that she's clipped in the same.
No,
thing.
no.
I have the power of leaving. That's the only power that I have.
That's a feature. I assume that Joe's gonna. I mean, you'll say something stupid.
Oh wait, Joe or me or both? Because
first Joe, and then the rest of you probably too.
Okay.
But definitely Joe. With Joe, it's a certainty. With you guys, it's a probability. You have different.
I never say anything stupid. I might say things that are offensive. I might say things that are going to hurt people's feelings. But stupid, I don't remember ever saying something that could qualify that way. But for those of you who are unaware, speaking of sharing insight, tomorrow at 10 p.m. on my channel, I will be showing that the theory of relativity is bunk. So,
oh God,
that will be happening tomorrow. I'm going to be sharing a video, a scientist, and we will be proving that the theory of relativity is bunk tomorrow on my channel. Good Lawgic.
I'm going to poke.
Is it going to
make one statement to you.
Is it flat Earth after or before, Joe?
It's not flat Earth. It's not flat Earth. Earth is round. You're an idiot if you think the Earth is not round. I will tell you that the theory of relativity.
How about if it's turtle shaped or riding on a space turtle?
Everyone just loves to assume that it makes sense.
No, Joe is missing one major element of it. Like let's just go very, very basic. He's saying, well, if this can shift or it's going to be a different amount of time, then it can't be relative. It's like, keep in mind that it's not the theory of absolutely, it's the theory of relativity.
Nope. It's
I love it. I wasn't here
basically
for this,
violates
this is
basic scientific principles.
I'm like waiting into
the guy doesn't even know what his generation is, and he's gonna start stepping on science.
I'm telling you right now, I have okay, look. I'm a scientist.
It's PhD.
I'm gonna be what because I discussed this like 3 weeks ago on a Saturday night, and I had Uncivil Law and Nick join my stream midstream, ranting at me that I'm a lunatic and I'm crazy and whatever.
Well, those are all true.
And I was like, I said, you're wrong. And they started trying to prove to me that Einstein was right. And I was dissecting one by one. I got so many angry comments from fans and stuff like that saying, stick to law. You know what the hell you're talking about. And I'm telling you now.
Those are the best.
I'm also hearing you need to stick to world politics, according to the chat earlier.
Just explain the logic. And I actually shared a video which was supposed to explain the theory of relativity. And I showed the fundamental flaw in that video, which proves I was like, this proves that this video makes zero sense. Anyway, bottom line is the some of the points I raised then and other points are raised by a scientist in a 50-minute video. And I'm going to be going through this video and in teaching my audience, so by the time we're done, they understand that Albert Einstein basically was just making crap up when he came up with E = mc squared. So, if you want to see hardcore proof that is not true that E = mc squared, I urge you check out.
You found the scientist who will agree with you.
Oh, I don't know.
But I think the real question is
maybe it's like Dr. Malone. Maybe that's what it is. You're all sitting there, you're all excited about your Pfizer stuff, and I'm telling you ivermectin.
Are you trying to get all the keywords
Joe,
in like
Joe,
one?
We were doing really well here. We're doing really well. You just can't help yourself.
All of them, Joe. Come on, man.
Good.
You did all the buzzwords, the bingo there.
Rude.
I
know. I'm
good logic the base. I have to.
It's not base. It's.
That was not what you said. That's not cool. That was not cool. I wasn't thinking about it.
No, I love it.
I love you.
I love you.
Eric, are we yellow?
Eva.
Eric, are we yellow?
Not yet, remarkably, but
About to
be.
I'm sure you will fix it.
it. You know,
I'm sure that you will correct that soon.
I like RW Bimby asked the question that's been circulating with all my guests lately, which is cat girls or vampires.
Ah.
What is that? Where is that coming from? What's the context? Is there context?
Anime.
I mean, I gather that based on the word waifu, but
yes, the context is anime.
So whoa, let me get this straight. You're all cool with the anime aspect of it, but you look askance when somebody says Harry Potter.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Anime is way more based than Harry Potter. Like I'll go to bat for anime any day over Harry Potter.
Whatever.
Okay. So
look, LegalBytes. I have multiple. I will show you my multiple Harry Potter cosplays when I did Harry Potter pub trivia. I have pictures with a good Voldemort. It's good stuff. I lived in Orlando.
You would totally be Slytherin. You would.
I 100% am. True. I am. Yeah. I had the tie. I had the wand. I had everything.
I'm sure.
Well, folks, on that note, I have a show coming up in a couple hours. A few hours.
Right.
America's Untold Stories. What are you guys doing? I think Andrew has probably a bed waiting for him.
Yeah, I've got I wish. Actually, no, I've actually got to do some work right now before everybody checks out in the Eastern time zone. What is it in the time? Is it in the Eastern time zone right now?
2:04.
2:04. Oh, I got time. I get that shit done. So I'm going to do some work. I do need to get on because, I know in the beginning we were all talking about, some people were saying, hey, we don't cover world politics. I definitely do. And I love that. I've had people on to talk about the Ukraine stuff and just not just, hey, it's the war, blah, 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 but talk about it in a general sense. But I'm going to have, because I've had a lot of people interested in this and I have some fans and I've actually talked to Greg Kelly myself twice. I'm going to be covering the story of his partial acquittal because he was just partially acquitted by Japan. And that's a very, very, very interesting case on what went down there. It's a part win for justice and part win for injustice. I'll be covering that either tomorrow or the next day, whenever I get time. But yeah, come over, check out my channel and legalmindset.locals.com.
Check him out. He does good work.
I just had a live stream. Joe was on there, along with Uncivil Law, and we talked about a bunch of stuff for my weekly latest in the law. Looking to figure out how I can add more content onto my channel in addition to that, because I think I just need to add more stuff. So anyhow, that's basically it. Come check out LegalBytes. I'm on Locals. I'm on Patreon. I'm on all the social media platforms.
Queen of the grift.
Queen of the grift. What are you talking about? I don't know where people get that stuff.
You gotta own it. You gotta own it.
I mean, but I do all the same stuff as everybody else.
You won the tea. You
okay, that's true.
You cheated.
Oh no.
I
didn't get any kind of pleasure out of that.
Oh, I didn't even know you would have declared the winner, Alita. You would declare the winner?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep.
Andrew got muted again. That's interesting.
Oh no.
You're muted, Andrew.
Did you?
You really are.
Are you doing it this whole time?
It took me a second.
I don't know. I don't know why. I think there's something happening there.
Something happened to his thing that we can't understand how.
No.
We can't hear Andrew after we mentioned how.
I think Eric may have muted him. I wonder.
Not intentionally. Yeah, he's out to come back in. No, I think. Well, again, we're finding little bugs. They'll get resolved.
Oh man.
There he is.
There he goes.
You're still muted.
You're still muted. I'm sorry.
Interesting. All right. Well, on that note, Joe, what do you have coming up?
Okay. So aside from tomorrow, where I'm going to show my audience that there is no such thing as the theory of relativity, at least unless you're living in fantasy land. I stream nightly, Saturday, every 6 nights a week, every night but Friday night, and that's from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. And I'm also going to be, as we mentioned earlier, I've been covering the Ghislaine Maxwell story. When my nightly stream, I do law and politics and humanities, where I'm going to make you think about things you never really thought about. Like, is there ever such a thing as torture being proper, or things of that nature? And basically interact with my audience.
When I was on, he asked me a question about the goodness of cannibalism. So
Did I really?
yes, it was a case that you brought up about where they ate the other person who died and whether they should be.
Oh,
convicted
whether
and
there's
not
certain right
convicted.
in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
circumstance, where someone is
So
frozen. in
there
the
you go.
Arctic.
This is the deep, thoughtful stuff.
Yes, that's the sort of thing
Yeah.
I'd love to pick brains over.
My first time on Good Logic's channel, the question was, which of the 7 deadly sins is the worst one? That was a really
there
interesting
you go.
discussion.
There you go. That's the sort of thing that I love to bring up on my channel.
That was a
Anyway.
very interesting discussion.
Envy.
I enjoyed that.
Anyway, envy.
Well, anyway, so I urge you, check out my channel. 10,000
All right, well,
Frenchmen can't be wrong. So there you go.
Most importantly, folks, subscribe here. Subscribe to everybody else. But seriously, subscribe.
yeah.
I am trying to build this channel. It is new. And if you like these panels and these crazy characters who I bring up here, and Joe, what are you going to be talking about tomorrow again? What are you trying to say?
Disproving the theory of relativity. Disproving.